professor. Go get him. Oh. Boom. Boom. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That right there is your boy Joe App. She's like, kind of startled you there, eh?
No.
No? Okay. All right. My bad.
No.
All right. Where are the people at? Let's go, YouTube.
Where the money
We got
at?
stuff to do. We're in position. Shout out to Yannick, Maraza. We got Romesh, Wandu. And then we got Halmies and Billy Bezos. Shout out to Billy. We got Bovin. We got Jeremy. All right, now the people are flooding in. Juan Padilla, shout out to TIP86, Bora Hut and Bobo Knob. Yes, Uplift Markets and Iggy Sosa. We got Remy J82 and Rishi Desai 2787. Shout out to Gen AI Apps and Mr. Ian Acho 25 and Parabolic FOMO something or another. That's a whole lot of words stuck together there, my man. Doughboy, shout out to Bayard None, whatever, LHIY. We got Trumpets. I'm really tired today. I am Yorkie. All right, shout out to Notorious Dingleberg as well as Sports and Stonks. We got Darren Riskvin and Hojo San. Tiger, the Cosmic Cat. I like that one. I'm not really a cat guy, Joseph. Not gonna lie, but you know, I can support all animals there. Shout out to the Cosmic Cat.
Yeah, same, man.
Good morning, my guy.
Good morning, good morning. Yeah, I can support a lot of pets there. Obviously, there's some ones that are on the fence there. Remember the IKEA monkey? That was a good one there way back in the day. The IKEA monkey. Yeah, no, I hope everyone's having a good, solid session. The Qs and the SPY slightly choppy this morning. And then now it's starting to pick somewhat of a direction. Also, Go Ethereum Go. We like that one there. But yeah, guys, let's pull up the old screen ski and see what we got going on.
Get it.
So, yo, Sharif Joe, the show in the house. What's up, Chris Simonelli? So there it is. So we go short AMD, pop. And we didn't get the breakdown of the lows, so we stop out. I'm like, all right, that's no problem. We take a little bit of a loss on that one. But then we go, oh, we're back in it. Oh, we're back in it a little bit more. Oh, we're in it even more. We take a little bit off, and then we're in it even more, and then we take it down all the way to the downside. No, I did not catch that IBIT long, Rhino. I just been chilling, posting Parkdale. I'm not going to finish that, but that's what we got going on. Parkdale, obviously, a place in the city. But that's my only 2 trades of the day, right? And that's all you need to really do sometimes. It's just a couple good solid ones, and then sure enough, you're done. And then if you want, you can put a little bit more risk on the table, which we'll be doing throughout the session. But knowing me, guys, sniper mode, you have to pick those A-plus setups, high-quality setups, and not just swing at everything. So we're going to be looking for some definitive signals in order for us to get involved in this market again. But we'll put some risk on. I do like what IBIT's doing. I thank you for pointing that one out there. And I'm keeping ETHA on my radar as well, obviously, because, you know, your boy's involved in that. So that's what I got going on. AMD was the short of the day. We almost hit that 10% to the downside. Not quite, just a little bit over 9, but yeah, we're just hanging out. Nice little short there. Again, multiple ads. You take some off, you add a little bit more just because the tape was extremely weak, and then you piece it out. It's unfortunate that I missed this leg, but again, you got to take what the market's going to give you. And I just ran out of shares at the end of the day, Sharif.
Yeah, I've been there, bro. Yeah. You've seen that many times. So, yeah, here's the deal. We're in 3 positions, like a psycho. All right, here we go. SGN, this is on the MX network, and it's breaking out pretty aggressively. I don't really know. I was watching this at $1.48. I'm like, okay, it's going to pull back. There we go. We get a beak wetter. Here's the second beak wetter. Let's see if we can squeeze. We're showing 66s now here on the ask. There's a seller at 66 preventing us from ascending. We'll continue to wait here. The spread is decent, 2 pennies. What's my move here? I'm going to scalp, but we're extended away from the 10 EMA and VWAP. That's into $1.50. So I'm going to actually dollar cost average if we lose the bid into that $1.50. I like that 10 EMA. I like VWAP, but I also am of the opinion that there's more bamboozlement on these small cap gappers that trade on the MX network than there may be on the NYSE or the New York. So I don't want to get too aggressive. So now it's coming down a little bit against me here. Let me look to front run it around 52s. So I'm going to put an order around 52s. In fact, I'll put it at 53 so we can run it some more. We got 63s on, showing me 61s right now. So we're a little out of the money. We're going to pack our patience, see what we can get on this one. Also, in another position over here, we got GNS on. This one's putting in a hold at VWAP. Got a couple of beak wetters there. Dips down into 9 where I was waiting. It doesn't fill me at 9 because it doesn't cross. So we're still with our original price there at 13, so 1 penny out of the money on that one. I'll get to my side charts for a moment, what other things I'm looking at, but I'm just going to cover the positions I've got currently. And then SMRT, this one's on the NY. Kind of putting a really good clean hold off the 10 EMA on the 5. So I'm punching in here looking for a break into the high of the day. The high of the day is currently at $1.18. So we're going to pack our patience on that one as well. Anything below that $1.10 on SMRT gets me out because that's going to be a new area low. And I don't want to be holding this if it's going to make a new area low. So the area trough, we get out there, Joey. So let's go back now into SGN, continuing to watch this one as it's forming a candle of indecision with a 166 high, trying to hold above that 160. I'm looking for this area to hold. I don't mind dollar cost averaging in the 150s, but I'm going to be looking specifically for a hold in that area, Joseph. Otherwise, it's the end of the trade.
Yeah, good stuff there. FF, we're going to talk about that here momentarily. Why was I short AMD? Well, there it is. You can see that we're holding around that 166 level, couldn't break and take that. And then sure enough, I'm just using this call wall, and I talked to you guys about this for a while now, is that the fact that we're just trying to utilize the options chain in order to make trades based off of that, and just call walls, put walls, whatever it may be. Okay. So FF. I bought after earnings where some calls lost almost 90% of value and never went up. Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been talking about the past couple of days as well, too. Personally, again, you got to understand the metrics on why contracts are priced the way that they are, and I'm not saying that you don't, but don't buy after earnings. It's a recipe for disaster. Now you know that the case is, because you got to think about it, you were paying for an increased implied volatility, and then day after day, even though the stock may be moving and holding its ATR, it's slowly going to start to decay, and sure enough, you're then just going to lose the value of the contracts to IV, all right? So just keep that in mind. Vega, that is the case. So when you have a moment, can you give us a little TA on Hood? Absolutely. Let's pull up Robinhood. I'm going through a lot what you guys are talking about today, so make sure you talk. You tag me in the chat. Oh. Also, make sure you where is Fabian? Fabian. He's not here. Make sure you like and subscribe. I need 1,000 likes in order for this guy to get something done for me. So 1,000 likes. Is that what he said? Yeah, man. And I'm like, hey, man, Sharif gets the He-Man. He gets the. It's pretty. It's so pretty, and I have to work hard. Sorry, Joey. Yeah, it's crazy. I have to work hard, you poor soul. That's crazy. No, I'm only playing around, guys. But no, in all seriousness, please just hit that like and subscribe. 1,000 likes would be absolutely fantastic, especially if you're enjoying the trades here. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Robinhood. We can do some TA. It's the same thing, right? So the earnings were great, in my opinion. I think this company is going to continue to grow, but the market's priced everything into perfection. So you have to be patient. You're still consolidating within this range, so that's such a positive sign. If you're looking to go long this name for the long term, then what I would suggest is just obviously whatever piece of the pie you're looking to allocate, divide that up, and then slowly start grabbing into the shares. So are grabbing shares, and then eventually you'll have a nice average. If it continues to sell, you buy a little bit more. If it continues to move in your favor, guess what? You buy a little bit more, and then eventually you'll allocate that full amount that you're looking to do so, and then you'll be positioned relatively well in Robinhood. But for me, foreseeable future, I really, really love this play. Wait for this pullback just in case the market is toppy and consolidative, then you'll be able to position at the lows, and then sure enough, I think this name's going to be probably $150 one day at some point, to be honest with you.
Robinhood? Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. I agree with that wholeheartedly. All right, we're doing it freaking live right now, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say. SGN, we gave you this trade. It's breaking out. It's going bigly over here. So we've taken it out all the way up into 78. Best beak wetter, 75. We're posted up at 79. 77 seller over here. SGN on the Amex exchange. I'm seeing my other positions flying as well, and there it goes. There's GNS, another Amex network one. headline. So it's the Amex show today. It feels like we're posting at 19 and posting at 20. Just 1 second, Assassino. We want to go back and see over here whether we get the fill at 79s. That's where I'm waiting. I'm talking about SGN. Keep an eye out on this one. Quite parabolic with the volume really picking up. But that 77 seller is a staunchy you know what. So we can't shake him right now, Adara. Maybe when we get back from you, he'll have moved.
I just want to let you guys know both India and Brazil apparently coming out against these tariffs. We have India commenting that the additional U.S. tariffs are unfair and justified and unreasonable, and that they're going to be taking actions to protect their national interests. Meanwhile, Brazil, which you know also is facing pretty steep tariffs from the U.S., reportedly requesting talks with the World Trade Organization over the new U.S. tariffs. So again, the Brazil aspect not confirmed. India, these statements are coming out right now. Back to you.
We got a
big time Glaze money. What's up? One of my biggest.
Glaze.
I only trade options daily. Day W at Joe. I use a lot of your knowledge. I think the whole team now. I do use y'all price action along with the tech. But Joe, the game you give about options, man. Thanks. No, thank you, brother. Much appreciated. I'm glad that you guys are learning some things, right? Because that's just what we want to do is just pass it on. I don't know anything new, right? Everything I've been learning has been through textbooks, YouTube University, etc. So if I can learn it, you guys can most definitely learn. I'm glad that you're starting to put it into practice and starting to rake in those dollars. The dollar is what I need. So yeah, good stuff there. And way to be Glaze. Rolling on a Wednesday. Don't spend it all in one place, though. You want to continue to allocate, hold that into your account, take a little bit out, have fun with that, but just continuously doing what you're doing. Because unfortunately, in the reality of trading, you're going to take some losses, and you kind of want to preserve that capital, all right? Joe and his fancy book learning. No, I wouldn't necessarily call it fancy book learning. It's just reading, right? If you want to learn about something, you got to read a lot.
Get it together,
and I think a lot of people... Fabian?
No, Dorothy.
Oh, Dorothy. Oh, no, we like Dorothy, man. Dorothy,
I'm playing with her, man. I mean, she's an OG there. She's always an OG.
Yeah, so shout out to her.
Hard times. Yeah.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe because I need Fabian to do this for me. I keep looking over at his desk. He's not working on it, so that's okay. I'll keep an eye out on it. I'm monitoring what's going on over there. But yeah, Robinhood looks pretty good. The market's starting to kind of, I feel it feels slightly toppy as well here. So you can see that we did breach the high of the day. Now we're just hanging around this 87.30 level. If we continue to extend to the top side, then I'm going to look for any forms of indecision at those highs, and then we're going to take it to the lows. I talked about AMD's call wall today, and we'll go over some other names later on because we got even more earnings after the bell.
We do. All right, guys, let's talk about SGN because this is the bamboozlement on the MX network. So we take it out all the way into 79, post at 88. It doesn't hold VWAP. It actually dipped below it. Now, it's kind of one of those stocks where it's a bit of anomalous over here where VWAP is a little bit higher than the 10 EMA. So probably should have been basing my trade on the 10 EMA rather than VWAP. But, you know, we'll give back very, very little there. I had one out left, so we'll get stopped out for a 3-penny loser on the last remaining amount there on SGM. But it's a good trade so far. We're going to keep an eye out on this one, see if we can make some more money, especially if it holds up at this 165, 170 area. It did actually make a new candle to make a new low, breaching the prior candle. So that's the situation on that. Let's go and have a look over here on GNS, another MX exchange name. So be careful with these ones, guys. There we go. We finally got the fill at 9s. So now we have 10s on here on GNS. So let's go ahead and wet the beak over here with some sharage we'll post that at 12s. We'll take that and so we'll see what we get. So we'll take a nice little fill there. Got filled at the volume weighted average price. There it goes again. We'll take another beak wetter there. Good look. GNS, keep going, baby. Let's go. We're waiting at 19. Show me 14s. Let's post here at 14s for smaller size. And then I'll post at 16s for smaller size as well. We got size on this one because we got a nice little dip trade here on GNS. I'm all out of my trade on SGN. It'll have to set up in a better way for me to stay focused on that. But GNS, generally holding the volume weighted average price and strictly holding it on a closing basis, generally holding it on a wick basis, meaning that there's a wick or two that do breach a level. So if you're placing your stop right below VWAP, chances are you may get stopped out. So give it a bit of room, obviously within your own risk management parameters there, so everything stays kosher, baby. Shout out to our friend Nimrod and I think I said that right there, you know, Johnny? Because he gave us a little practice there yesterday, so shout out to him. I'm also in SMRT. Now this one, you know, I was singing this one's praise earlier on because I did like the chart pattern that had been forming. Okay. But what I'm starting to see now, Joey, is that what I perceive to be a hold off the 10 EMA and a test of highs is actually forming into a lower high. So here's what I mean. That buck 18 double top, we drop down, we hold the 10 EMA at 110, we start trending back up. Nice higher lows, higher highs. But then that 115 puts a damper on everybody's party, and here we are right back at that 10 EMA. So unless this is going to be a micro pullback and we make a new high above 115, anything below 110 on SMRT gets me out of this trade. Don't care. We're going to stick to the rules here on SMRT, so we'll keep an eye out on that one. But yeah, it does feel like maybe, you know, there's some bamboozlement into this one. Let's weasel back on over to my other friend there, GNS, waiting at 14, showing me 14s on the level to ask side, but it's got to cross on the bid to get the print. So we'll pack our patience on that one. Joey, we're waiting at 16s next.
Yes, sir. Yes, Stevenson, keep on swinging, brother. Just keep on keeping on at the end of the day, right? So it's all right. You'll get it, man. This stuff takes a while to kind of get the grasp, and I don't know if you ever truly do. You just kind of get a little bit better and just kind of adapt to the environment around you.
That's a good point.
So
very good point.
Yeah. I think that's how it goes, right? So all right, guys, let's take a look at the top performing sectors of the day. In first place, we got consumer discretionary up about 1.4%. Consumer staples sitting in that win place. The place, why do I have to say that in my head to figure it out? Consumer staples 1.25%, technology up 0.5%, and then utilities down about 1/3, and then materials down about 3/4, and then the healthcare sector down 1% as well too. So just keep that in mind. And I also want to point this out here momentarily before we send it to Adair and we come back to your guy. Look at this signal. Is Gorev in the chat today? Let me see if I can tag this guy here. Is he in? No, he's not in it. He's not posted up today. Anyways, nice volume price analysis signal right here. You don't get the volume, but that's a really nice hammer candle at the lows. Oh, is he there? Oh, there he is.
Yeah, there he is.
There's my guy. Bang. So yeah, that was a really nice signal at the lows there. So too bad I chickened out and didn't take the swing on that. But there it is. Picture perfect. Adara, what do you got for us?
Get it, Adara.
Here is MTCH Match Group. They did report earnings yesterday with better than expected guidance as well. But we do have, it's worth noting, TechCrunch reporting that the company is planning, or Tinder specifically, which of course is owned and operated by Match Group. Tinder reportedly planning a major revamp. They're testing a new redesign and different modes of dating and college-specific features. So interesting look here. Keep an eye as well on RNA. Novartis weighing a deal for biotech Avidity to boost the drug pipeline. This is Avidity. RNA is the ticker. This one looks like it's halted. So RNA may be a small cap or smaller cap on watch today, Sharif. Back to you.
Campus Ram, like, so there'll be like, I don't know, like a York University kind of network, maybe a U of T one. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, woman. What do you want from me? It's already location-based, says Ram, which is a good point, but it's not community-based. Maybe they're going to have some community aspect to it. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, Joey, options. It's been interesting here watching some of these dating apps kind of slide down. We've seen Bumble kind of take a bit of a nosedive there. Who owns Hinge? Anybody knows who owns Hinge? Is it private?
It?
Yeah, like is it a publicly traded company? What's your friend Copilot have to say? Show yourself. Match Group? Oh yeah, that probably makes sense.
What was that there?
Yeah, it hasn't fallen in a while, so shut up. Is it Match Group?
Yeah, Match Group.
It is Match Group. Okay, yeah. Match Group owns everything, says Wild Bane. All right, didn't know that, guys.
You know that new BlackRock of dating app.
Eh? The new BlackRock of dating app. Yeah, then that's maybe why they call themselves a group, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're doing a freaking live right now on GNS. It's continuing to go now. I posted up at 19s. I probably should, I didn't actually mean to post up at 19s. I meant 18s there. But anyway, this one's really going. It's stair-stepping up nicely. We got a nice little ad there at 9s. I'm going to wet the beak here a little bit more as, you know, zigs and zags a little bit. So GNS is going, looking good. What's his name? Bovin, my other pair of eyes, letting me know that there's another one making its way onto the scene by the ticker DYN. Let's have a look at that one. Oh, baby. A nice halt up there on your friend DYN. And above it, it's got some decent volume here, about almost 4 million shares. And this is a new This is a new trade. So the price spikes and the volume started coming in 11:14. So we're 6 minutes deep into the volume spike. So this is a new trade right now, guys. We're 6 minutes deep into this volume spike. Where does this trade? It's on the Nasdaq, excuse me. It's not a small cap gapper though, Bovin. It's almost $2 billion, $1.85 billion market cap. So we're gonna have to watch to see how it trades. Here is, why is this thing halted? I'm looking. Oppenheimer had some comments on it today. Volatility trading pause is what I'm seeing there. I'm looking some more. They did have a headline from 2 days ago, from the 4th, that they announced FDA BTT something or another. It looks like some drug. They accelerated approval. Here it is. Dyne Therapeutics potential BLA submission for the U.S. accelerated approval anticipated in early 26. That was from the 4th. And then you had Oppenheimer cutting the price target today from 34 down to 13. So that's not exactly the look. This thing's up 24.5%. I don't know what the hell is going on with this Bovin, but it doesn't really matter, does it? It's earned its way onto the side chart, and it's going to replace SGN, who's now well below VWAP. So we'll take that bad boy off, and we'll put DYN. Thanks for that, Bovin. Also, the Jameson letting me know that there's another one, TAWNF. I feel like this probably means something. Yeah, because it's not coming up there. Jameson, are you pulling my leg there, or what's going on? Because it's not coming. Tag me again, Jameson, because I can't pull up the ticker unless it was something different. All right, let me know. I want to also bring to your attention another one that's breaking out to the high side right now, LHAI. Oh, baby. So these small cap gappers, man, they're all going. This one's a bit more expensive, but up a respectable amount, 44%. Flat top break through 6 3/4. It feels like the selling was coming in at the 3/4, and now we're rejecting 7.5. That's a 75 penny move, and quicker than you can say Joseph Wilson. So keep your eye out on this one. LHAI, great breakout there, and a move to the high side. So we're going to pack our patience and see if we can work into something on that one. Pug Life, Sharif, fitness question. Do you take longer recovery breaks between sessions now that you are in your mid-40s? I'm in my early 40s. I love it. I'm just playing.
That's crazy.
I found it to be very beneficial for me since I am not on HRT. Look, I don't take fitness breaks almost never. I rarely take a day off the gym. Most of my days are doubles, okay? They're 5 a.m. sessions and they're 3 o'clock sessions every day. I rarely take a day off. So, I mean, that just works for me. But then I got Neil over here to complain to every morning that everything is hurting. So that's kind of my methodology there, Neil. He does.
That's all right, man. I like that methodology, man.
Yeah.
Hey, how does this? I don't even know what the saying is, and nor do I know a saying on no rest days. But anyways, we'll keep an eye out on that, man. Apple. Not taking too much for the flame to be lit up under this thing here, guys. So a really good look on Apple. You can see that we're heading towards some key resistance zone, guys. So watch out. If it does decide to sit on top of this range, maybe you're going to get some continuation to the top side. I mean, you can see we were talking about it yesterday, and just the consolidation that has been in for some time since April hasn't really participated in the up move with the overall market. But if Apple decides that it wants to get going, this market is going to take another leg up, all right? So just keep that in mind, and I guess that's my opinion on the matter as well. Let's take a look at Microsoft as well to see what we got going on. See, who was it? Oh, Glaze. Or no, Glaze said he had a good day. Oh, FF, I think. FF was saying to me, like, yeah, Joe, I bought Microsoft calls. This is not when. Like, so look at the price action here, right? And then look what happens after the earnings report. The average true range is just vastly expanded, right? It's gotten much bigger. So you're going to be paying that premium, and you don't necessarily want to do that. And if it wants to break this trend and move to the downside, it's I don't know. It's just a tough situation. And that's why it's always better to write after earnings, because you're going to slowly start to see that decay, all right? So just keep that in mind. You don't want to write going into earnings, because the volatility will just blow you through the roof. And you won't have a good time on that, especially if it exceeds the expected move and heads into your strike price, and you can't close or do anything with your position. You're going to be in trouble. No, Kendall, I'm not. I hope to learn more. Started trading a few days back. Yeah, I mean, if you just started trading a couple days ago, wow. Sit tight. Put that seatbelt on. You got a road ahead of you. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have your trials, tribulations, and you're going to go through the mental turmoil of trading. But just know if you just keep pushing, eventually you'll hopefully get to where you want to be. Just never give up, all right? No matter how many times you get knocked down. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Is as hard as it is sometimes, it's just like, man, I'm done. Just remember, a bad day is only 24 hours, and then it gets to restart the next day. So just keep that in mind. Bull flag here on Bitcoin, I don't know. Maybe, possibly, Sharif. I don't know. What do you think about this one here, my brother Mang? Are we going to continue to climb higher? Is this bull flag? Do we get into the lower end of the range? I think so. I'm going to get involved in this. Okay. I love talking myself into trades. Maybe I don't. It sold off a little bit there. I'm capping now to speak in the kids' terms these days. Cap. Yeah. I'm looking at the Qs, though, because I do want to potentially short it. Guys, I'm really tired. That's why I'm a little bit all over the place. You know when you're overtired and you get a little bit of that extra energy? So, yeah, we had a hockey game last night. Ended the goalless streak. Bang. That was a good one. I felt good with it. We lit them up 8-2, I think, the final score was. So, yeah, that was a good one.
Hold on. How many did you net?
Only one, man.
That's still good, though.
Dude, I should have had
a bit of a
four game.
Yeah,
I should have had 3. I couldn't be. I had so many good opportunities, couldn't put it in the back of the net. And then this one shift, I was just pissed off. I'm like, I was just mad. And then I ended up scoring that shift.
Not bad. All right.
I was just mad. I'm like, man, it sucks.
Get you mad more often.
Yeah. It sucks.
But I don't like you when you're mad. You're a different person when you're upset. Yeah. You quiet down, and there's like very little coming out.
I can't get to that next level because then it's just bad.
Yeah, your energy's not fake. That's for damn sure. He'll tell you that.
So yeah, that's what we got going on, guys. Microsoft continuing to sell, the market moving higher, which is slightly odd. So again, I'm just looking for any forms of indecision at highs, and then some stopping volume as well too. All right, and I think we'll be able to find a potential short, but we also want to keep an eye on the Mag 7. Just in case that they want to decide to continue this rally. Well, Apple, that is. Apple's moving higher in Microsoft. And I haven't even gone through the likes of NVIDIA. I haven't looked at NVIDIA, Tesla, Google, Meta, or anything, or Amazon. I haven't looked at any of them. My hyper focus was on Shopify and AMD this morning. And I'm glad that we took those AMD shorts. Market continuing to climb. The more extended we get, the more I like it for a potential trade. Adara, what do you got for us?
Yeah, keep an eye here on AAPL. This one's still at high of day. CNBC reporting that Apple's will be remaining largely unaffected by India tariffs. According to, again, CNBC citing White House officials, so this is not yet confirmed, but it sounds like Apple might not be too heavily affected by the new tariffs that are being set for India. Back to you.
See, Joseph, I've thought about this long and hard. Being an investor in Apple and having to weather the storm off that 260 drop and fade.
Yeah.
And I started thinking like, okay, well, Donald made special, I don't want to call them permissions, but he gave Apple special treatment, so to speak, in Trump 1.0. But he kind of made it very clear this time around, he doesn't want to pick winners and losers, in the sense that you don't want to give any one company an advantage over another just because they're Apple and they're a $3 trillion market cap. And, they're a sign of like American ingenuity, American design, American this, that, and the other, okay? But I'm starting to think that, allowing Apple to go down obviously it wouldn't be in America's interest, but it also wouldn't be in Donald's interest, because then he would be playing into the Chinese strengths, right? You're going to get that void filled by somebody, right? Whether it's Honor, whether it's Xiaomi, whether it's Huawei, it's going to be somebody, bro. And they're already making crazy ass phones over there, triple folding, double folding, thin AF, you know what I mean? So I just started thinking, I'm like, maybe we do get some specially tailored provision to allow them, to kind of continue to do their thing. I don't know. And today we're starting to get like little hints here and there.
Well, I mean, you obviously want your best to remain your best. You don't want to hinder them too much. Did he come down a little bit hard on them? Maybe, possibly, considering the tariffs. But I think that Apple has the ability to recover. I've mentioned this before. I think it's kind of short-term noise as well too, Sharif. And why? I'm just going to keep referencing the amount of cash that these guys have on the balance sheet is just absolutely phenomenal. I think it's so hard to fail. But don't forget, as you just mentioned, Sharif, everyone is replaceable, and you don't necessarily want that in the case of Apple.
Not at all.
Adara, what do you got for us?
What do you got for us?
What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? What do you got
Bitcoin continuing to consolidate here. We actually did break above that 15,000 level. We're currently right at 15,000 and continuing to, I guess, try to make a little bit of a higher low after that base around 12,000. So the fact that 12,000, again, the previous all-time high, is still holding a support is certainly a good look for BTC. Let's hope that it stays that way. Here's Ethereum USD. This one also making a bit of a lower high and certainly not near its all-time highs the way that Bitcoin is, but continuing in this bit of an uptrend. Now I want to do something a little bit fun with you guys. Let's look at meme coins. Here, this is a coin market cap. Here are the top trending meme coins. House coin, number 1 here. Then there's Floki, Koma Inu, Pause, Useless coin, MIA, Zerebro coin, AI Cell, Troll, lots of stuff here. This is on coin market cap, but interesting look at some of these meme coins in addition to the larger crypto names we usually look at and trade here, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, okay, there's something going on with Walmart here. You got it there, Joey? Just show that 1 minute there, just so they can see the program buy on that bad boy. Yeah, that's the chart on Walmart today, guys.
Wow.
Joey, don't look at the market cap.
Okay.
What's it at?
989 million.
No, it's because I know you heard me say $1 billion.
Billion is what I
822. So we're not too far. Maybe I think maybe in a few years, maybe less. Right?
Figured I'd try to get them. Yeah, I mean, get that as close as possible. But I mean, Walmart. We love Walmart anyways, right? So it doesn't even matter. This is America's darling at the end of the day.
Don't forget, bro. Over 50% of what they sell made in America, according to them. I don't know if that's accurate. But according to them.
No, but remember what they said? It's assembled in America.
Is that what they said?
Yeah,
they said assembled.
Assembled. Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, we don't know about that, but hey, word it how you may. But yeah, that's really good look there, Sharif. 29% from those April lows, so not too bad of a look. And I think at this pace, it is probably going to break through that previous all-time high. We like Walmart. I was buying Selena some in like this neck of the woods or something like that there. So there you go.
Yeah, you punch in for her, right?
Yeah. You gotta get that money to work there. You think there's no free ride around here, Sharif?
Oh, okay. I'm not getting involved in this conversation.
But no, in all seriousness, it's a really good look there on Walmart today, brother.
That's a great point there, Dave. J2723. Great point. That didn't come to mind. It's also because of groceries. If you eliminate groceries, it's probably 10%. I'm not vouching for your data there, but I think your point is very well taken. We can probably check exactly if we were to exclude groceries, what percentage of their products are actually made in America. Great point there. I'm going to cover a couple of stocks for you, AIMD and ONDS, as soon as we get back from Madeira.
You guys know I'm not seeing any news on Walmart. There's weirdly a lot of social media attention on this name right now. But yeah, WMT, as mentioned earlier, looks like a bit potentially of a buy program. It's been strong all day, continuing to rocket higher. This, for a name like WMT, pretty significant move. It's almost $4 right now off the open, guys. Back to you.
That Adair. All right, Joey, let me just cover a couple of these bad boys over here because I promised some of the viewers that I would. All right, here it is, Assassino. AIMD. This is the first one. So the reason that I haven't said anything about this is not because it's not up on the day. It's up bigly, 51%. It's a big mover, but what it's doing now is trading below VWAP. So displeases me greatly, despite the fact that the high of the day, which is at 450, was made after the bell, so clears the pre-market high, so check there. But it's trading below VWAP. And even if it gets above VWAP in the strict sense, like the price action is above the white line, look what it's doing. It's putting in lower highs at that volume weighted average price. So unless we can get above, I would say 380 to get above this area crest over here, the two candles that we printed at 1035 and 1040, I'm not interested. That doesn't mean that, I'm not cognizant of the higher lows that it's been putting in below VWAP. I do see them. But I would like to insist that this one get above 380 just so that, we've cleared the sellers over here and we only have to contend with these sellers. So AIMD, I've got it up on I don't have it on the side chart, but I've got it up on the watch list over here. So we'll keep that right there. And then the other one, Joey, is ONDS. This is a former convict, one that we've been trading before. As you can see there on the 5-minute chart, it's been making higher highs and higher lows every day. And today you're getting a big boy breakout. So we're not up bigly on the day quite yet, just 4.25%, but we're getting into that 330. And I just want to show you guys the wider time frame. Yeah, man, we're doing decent here. That's a 15-minute chart. Let's go to the hourly. Let's see when this one started really running. This has been running for months now. For months. This is coming from sub $1 territory back in early mid-May, and now we're clearing $3. So this small cap is not really giving it up. And I would submit to you as well that, you know, as we get closer to those interest rate cuts and as the market starts pricing in more rate cuts, these small caps are going to run. That's just the way that this bad boy works. So we'll keep tabs on that as well. Yeah, ONDS, I'm a buyer here at 315. If it wants to come back and test breakout level, we'll give that one the old college try. Otherwise, I'll steer clear, Joey, because it's only up 4 1/4.
Nice look there, my brother. But yeah, there it is. Bitcoin working out really nice for us here, guys. You can see that we were in at 35s. We're now trading towards that high of the day. I think at this pace, how the volume is really starting to kick up, we're going to break this and hold this high of the day. So let's see if we can get those orders come in aggressively above the ask. And there it is. We'll trim a little bit more off there. Let's go. Oh, I love it when my orders get rejected. It's a great feeling.
I love that. Those are the best times, bro.
Gotta love it. So now, there we go. Now we're posted up. We'll take another fill on that Bitcoin break. Here we go, up 1.5% there, guys, on the day. Just playing this bull flag, market ripping, Bitcoin, Ethereum consolidating, forming that bull flag pattern. Obviously, it would have been better. Your risk to reward is vastly increased if you do get in at the lower end of the range, right? So you can see that I was risking about 10 cents here, and then we take about 20 on that one. So yeah, 2 to 1 so far. Not too bad, not too bad. We'll take it. We're going to continue to rock and roll on this to see if we can continue. Continue one more time. Continue on the path that we are. I'll say it one more time. There it is. But yeah, that's what we got going on here, guys. 2 trades. We took 1 loss on AMD in the morning. The second trade was good considering that we continuously added into the position. Now I'm just using a little bit of my realized gains to put on some more risk. If I lose X amount, then that's it. We're done for the day. But no, this is starting to cook up for us. See if we consolidate and then move a little bit more to the northeast because I believe that Bitcoin can move. Now, if there's anything specific that you guys want to go over, just put it in the chat and I'll do so. But in the meantime, let's take a look at IBIT's options chain. I haven't done that in some time. After I sold those calls, I'm like, yeah, never mind, AC Slater. I'm not worried about it right now. I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities to just continuously ride the Bitcoin wave, and that's why I have a lot of fun doing so. But guys, keep in mind, at 60, wow, okay, I'll show you guys. I'm not even going to tell you. This could be a potential resistance zone. All right, 26,600 contracts at that $66 strike price. We're now trading at 65.54. So I'm going to be keeping a major eye out just in case we do run into that specific level and then it potentially rejects, all right? So you can see the market's coming in aggressively and we're still holding up relatively well here on Bitcoin. So I'm going to hold this trade until otherwise, if I get stopped out break even, I still have about 75 to 80% of the position. We're just piecing small though because I would love to see the move northeast there, Shreve.
All right, guys. We're continuing to take some nice prints here on my very good friend GNS. We're back up into 19s. I've taken a whole bunch out. So initially we did get in at 13s, scalped, came back into VWAP, added, scalping, and here we are. We're waiting at 19 again. Let's see what we get over here. But I want to bring to your attention another one. So I'll bring to your attention first 2 that failed. LHAI. Look at this. I mean, this is part and parcel of trading these small cap gappers. You have to deal with this kind of BS because this is pure and simple BS right here. You get a big monster breakout above that 675 technical resistance level, and you move up 75 pennies into basically 750, 746 high. You halt down $1 lower at 644, and then you gap down another 50 some odd cents. And now it's trading below VWAP and well away from my line in the sand, which is VWAP, which is currently at around 648, 650. So LHAI, I mean, ugly stock. But here's a better looking one, and maybe one that won't be full of bamboozlement, VSAT. And I say maybe because you just don't know with these, right? You have to kind of make peace with that. This is not a small cap gapper either. It is a $3.5 billion market cap. Viasat, I know Viasat, global communications company. Did these guys report earnings or something? Yeah, they did. So this is an earnings play. We're up 24%. It looks like a buy program, guys. And it's obviously using the 10 EMA on the 5 because you don't have any closing prints. South of the 10 EMA, you get a wick or two that do breach it, but up and up we go. Nice bull flag continuation. That's what I felt over here. I was looking for kind of a bigger breakout, but this one doesn't seem like it has that parabolic effect like it did at the open. That you get that initial spike up at the open because of all the market on open orders that all fill at the same time. So you have a decided advantage for the demand side as opposed to the supply side. So up into 26.44 we go. That's the high of the day. I'll pick this up off a key technical resistance area, whether that ends up being the whole dollar level at 26 or a little bit below that in the mid 80s. At the volume weighted average or at the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. So that's what I'll wait for there. That's another one, VSAT. Good look. But there goes GNS again, and we get the 19 print. It goes up to 20. It doesn't cross 20, so we don't get the print. But that is the high of the day, $1.20 right now. Ebb Flow Portfolio. I love the name. Can you post a little higher so I can reach my profit target on GNS? Yeah, right, brother. Look, I'm not a market mover. Let me just be very honest with myself and everybody. I am a market observer. I watch as others move the market and I tag along with them. I'm not so delusional as to think that I move the market. So it's nice of you to think that, but that's definitely not the truth. I like to watch, Fabian, in case, you want to take that however you want. Joseph?
Yeah, yeah.
He has no idea what the hell was happening.
No, man, honestly, but see, the thing is, though, I get in trouble for this because I'm probably the most selective hearing individual. If I'm locked in.
That's okay, you're locked in,
If I'm locked in, everything
But we're
else
dropping
is
sexual innuendos. You got no idea what's going on.
I had no idea what's going
bro.
on, man. Oblivious to the whole situation. When I'm locked in, man, my selective hearing is just like, it's literally all noise. You could read me a book and I can be looking at something and I'd be like, huh? Like, I have no idea what you just said to me, so please repeat it. Yeah, but I get in trouble for that.
Good, bro.
Stuff,
You're not gonna find an upset audience with me, man.
No.
We're good to go.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't catch it. Okay, Havana Woody made an interesting point to me here today. Now it's got me really curious, and that's what I was locked in about on here. So Monday, June 25th. I got to keep an eye on this IBIT position as well, too. So I got to pull it up over here, and then we're going to do something here momentarily.
Get it, Joe.
Okay, so we'll do this, Havana. So I got to stop leaning forward, but my poor eyes. 15.5% right there from the June 25th lows to where we're currently trading at. So we got 15.5% off those June 25th lows from where we're currently trading at. Let's see here. What is this? The June 23rd. Where's the 25th? Okay, I guess because this isn't 24 hours. So we'll go here. 17%. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I thought the tracking error was slightly different there, Havana. So very valid point on that one. Still a couple of percentage points. Is it leverage? No, I don't think it is. It's just subjected to the not 24 hours of trading, I think, in my opinion. So, but valid point, and it is my largest holding without any questioning whatsoever. So just keep that in mind. And I didn't like hearing that, so I got to do a little bit more research on it. But I think we'll be sitting okay. It's not overly leveraged. Like Havana, I know what you're saying on that one. We did an example with Nimrod yesterday on HIMS, right? So we'll pull up this HIMS example on why you don't hold leverage products for the long term. Why? So this is why you don't essentially hold leverage products for the long term. So let's do this. HIMZ, right? And then HIMS. So why you gotta do that to me, man?
You want me to talk to it?
Yeah, please. Call someone over there. Like, why?
Double click it, and then go over there. And it should have a drop down list for you. Which thing did you click?
This one right here, man.
Okay.
Why is it this complicated?
HIMS, shift enter.
Shift enter.
Yeah.
Brother. Okay,
Why does it hate you like this?
It's done. I can't even give the example right now. I'm too flustered, and I'm getting nervous now for some reason.
No. That's all BS right there.
Yeah, it is complete BS. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I was going to give an example if I can pull it up. Oh, here it is. It's on a different chart. Okay, thank you. So, Sharif, give me one moment here, my friend. Uno momento, mi
I got it up for you here. If you
got it?
If you want to show.
Can we do a picture-in-picture here, Fabian? Because I want HIMZ and I want you to pull up HIMS there, all right? Can we go to a daily, Sharif?
Yes, sir. Oh, you want to show the way you were showing Nimble?
Yeah, exactly. So this is why you don't own leverage products. So we're going to go to this 5703. That's going to be the May 14th high. This is HIMZ, right? So you can see it's down 64%. So if you do the exact same thing on HIMZ itself, it's only going to be down 32%.
Where are you taking it from? That's March 14th, 25, correct?
Yeah. So
May 14th, 25?
Yeah, May 14th, 20.
All right, so we're doing it live, Joey. We're going to do it right from there, and you want from today's low?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're down 23%.
23%? Okay, so a little bit less. But essentially what I'm getting at here is with the example is if HIMZ drops, say, we'll make the math simple. If HIMZ drops 50%, it needs a 100% return to get right back to where it was. That's not the case with the leveraged products. It now needs the underlying asset to move 200% to get back to where it was, right? So a 2-to-1 ratio on that one, if my math is correct. So that's exactly why you don't want to own leveraged products for the long term.
All right. Well, I by the way, Joseph was giving this exact lesson to Nimrod yesterday when he was here. And let me tell you, bro, that caught my attention. That caught my attention because we always talk about ETF decay, but you never actually see a visual representation of the difference. And that was the perfect one right there, Joey. So I got to shout you out for that, man.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Yeah, good look there. All right, guys, let's get back to work over here. We're still looking at GNS. Here we go into a new high of day at $1.21. We're up 42 1/3%. We're zigging, we're zagging. I don't have too many outs left, so I'm going to be quite selective. We're going to wait now at 25s. Well, because I love the number 25, and so I really have no other technical reason for posting there. We'll see what we get. We won't get upset. But I got to tell you guys, I don't really like anything right now except VSAT. And I don't want to trade this because it's not a small cap gapper in the strict sense. I'm really trying to be quite strict about trading these. You guys were telling me about Oscar. It's not a small cap gapper either, but I do like the look for VSAT. So if you guys are not averse to trading small cap gapper names, this $3.5 billion market cap, this has been beautiful off the 10. You've got a 2-candle pullback like we're doing right now over here at 1020 into 1025. It was a strict hold into VWAP. Into the 10 EMA, and we're doing it right now again. So we're up 22% and change. We'll see what we get with this one. Also, I neglected to mention SIFY, and the reason I did is for the exact reason you're seeing there on the screen. The volume is crazy light, and it's also declining. Not only was it light to begin with, but it's also dropping off. So I never like to recommend these ones because with illiquidity can come wider spreads and bamboozlement, but it does have a good looking chart pattern here, full disclosure. Now, the one that I've said very little about, because I've been 1 or 2 pennies out of the money basically all day, is SMRT. It's got a seller at 15. That's where I'm long. It's dropping back into 13s now with higher lows. So we'll see. If this one wants to flat top break, fantastic. But if it loses 10, I've made that point very clear. This area trough gets me out of the trade. I'm talking about smart SMRT, kind of a slow mover. ONDS does have a good look here, but it's not up big enough on the day for me to say, you know, we're going to get a breakout. I mean, we're talking about 5% and change on a $3 name here. So it's a 321 high. It's putting in a nice hold here, Katina Man, at that $3.25 area. Katina Man's back, by the way. How's swimming, brother? You went for a walk? All right, good. It's nice today, though. It's breezy outside, eh? It's still foggy, though, because all the smoke coming from where Adara's from. Adara, weasel in for a second. Adara, what's going on in Manitoba over there, man? Because we're hearing crazy stuff about all the wildfires. I mean, everybody's okay, right?
Yeah, everyone I know is okay, thankfully. I honestly, it's weird. I didn't really hear anyone talk about it when I was back either. So for people who are wondering why I was gone for a couple days at the end of July, I was there to visit Winnipeg. No one really mentioned it. The neighborhood that I'm in, because my family just recently moved, the neighborhood that I'm in now, I think is a lot more removed from it. I think I would have probably felt it and noticed it more in my previous neighborhood, which is a lot more, like literally behind train tracks and a whole bunch of grass. So,
but they're saying like the air quality in Winnipeg is like one of the worst in the world. It's like worse than Delhi.
I honestly felt like it was it's worse here.
Really?
Than it wasn't. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. But again, it might be locationally where you are in the city. It's not that big of a city, but it's big enough that that's a difference. I also spent some time at my cottage as well, where I noticed maybe it was a bit worse there. But
was it worse there?
Slightly worse, I think, but not to the degree that it is here. I will admit, in my opinion, the Toronto air quality.
Well, that probably all the smog doesn't help either,
Yes,
Dara.
but
right?
I am also wishing everyone the best. If we have any Manitoban viewers with the wildfires, I am here with you, and I have community there as well.
Thank you for that, Adair. If you guys don't know, Adair is from Winnipeg, and Winnipeg is a city in a province, which is like a state, called Manitoba. So that's where a lot of these wildfires are happening, and it's blowing everywhere, including into Toronto and into Ontario, into America. America's getting upset with Canada right now. They're like, they want to sue us.
It's funny. It's funny.
All the wildfire smoke.
It's funny. My friend, because a couple of us are going to Chicago in a week or so. To go visit one of our friends that moved there, and he's following the Reddit page, and he's like, yeah, everybody's just bashing the Canadians because of all the smoke.
That's what I was just telling you. Like,
yeah.
certain, I think, Congress persons or men or women or whatever, they actually want, I don't know, they want to pass legislation to sue Canada or something for
smoke.
Yeah, because it's causing beef down there. They're annoyed.
Calling beef, man.
You tell them, Ram Ram. Come over here and tell everybody what you just said. Everybody wants to hear what you have to say, Ram Ram. She's in a mood today, bro. Let me tell you, bro. She walked in with her sunglasses on.
That was epic.
She was angry. She gave Joseph and I a little bit of a look. We both got a little scared, not gonna lie. We backed off a little bit there.
Yeah. Comes in, shades on. Show it to them.
Get him.
Show him.
What is he gonna show?
I don't know.
He's gonna show Ram Ram?
Oh, Ram Ram.
All right, well, here we go. Something's happening there. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little in suspense. Oh, real ones, go comment on our shorts. Yes, because Ram Ram does put in a lot of effort.
Do this.
And
Joe,
look at Joseph on the bottom there. He's like, me.
See, the thing is here, guys, when
all right,
you have
guys,
an
there
event
we
this
go.
large,
I don't
you
know.
need to build it
you
up.
need to build it
been
up
5
right
months
when
in Q2 earnings.
superstars are about to get weenie. What are we talking about here?
Make
What
it
is
as
this
big
one?
as
I totally
possible.
forgot
Let's just give the people what they
Just
want.
give people what they want. Oh, is it the push-up competition? I think it's the push-up competition.
My money's still on Sharif.
My money's on Sharif.
I feel as if at the beginning of the downtrend of AMD,
what is happening over here?
This push-up challenge.
Pug life. I don't know why Ram Ram's always in a sullen disposition, but
Joe, did you do your push-ups this morning?
What's that, Assassino?
See, the thing is
What's
here,
the
guys,
problem?
when you have an event this large,
You can hear
need
that?
to
Oh, I
build
can hear
up.
it. Okay.
It's been 5 months in Q2 earnings.
We need to work out. We need to try to make it as big as possible.
Neil's
Let's just give the
blaming
people what
us
they want.
for for AMD sliding after earnings.
That's
not doing the push.
My money's still on Sharif.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I believe
Flashback.
that or not, Ram Ram.
I can buy into that.
Ram Ram, what happened this morning? Come tell everybody. Bring in the mic. Come tell everybody, Ram Ram.
She doesn't know.
Aw,
She did, I know what it is. She was at 7-Eleven at 2 a.m. again. And then getting
she sleeps
Get
like
it,
never. Oh, Ram Ram, I love
says
this music.
Dara. Yeah, get it, Sev. But yeah, no, this market just is absolutely going insane here, guys. And we're still sitting in this Bitcoin trade. No reason to get out just now. Was that an ad opportunity? I think so, maybe possibly. But did we know? But that's okay. We'll figure something out. There we go. Break through that high of the day.
Break it.
We need the volume to really start to pick up here, though, Sharif. But a nice definitive base liquidity grab through those key levels. And then now we're just starting to climb back towards this high. Could that have been a double top? Yeah, absolutely. Do we want a triple top up here? Absolutely not. So just keep that in mind. And to the individual who was spamming the chat not too long ago, Amazon, you spam. Sometimes you get to see what we're looking at because I'm curious to what's going on. But another big time buy program here on Amazon from 213 all the way up to 218. So a nice look there, my friend.
All right, the OG Bovin bringing to my attention another small cap gapper that's weaseled onto the scene. It goes by the ticker IMAB. It's not up bigly or anything like that, but it's up D's. 16.33%. Let me just throw the ticker on there so you guys follow along. Here it is. It looks like generally, Bovin, I don't know what you're looking at here, but they're certainly selling in and around 4. The wicks do go into 406, but most of the closing prints, Bovin, a penny or two above that $4 area, and down we go again into 392. We're generally at the 10 EMA. If we close below the 10 EMA, Bovin, it'll be the first time we've actually closed below the 10 EMA since the market opened, right at that 930 pop above the 10 EMA. And this will be the deepest retracement, I think, that we've got. Obviously, this one was a bigger percentage retracement, but this one will lose the 10 EMA. So I'm going to be watching. So we'll see if it holds up at 375. There's a bunch of levels that I wouldn't mind picking this up off if it holds trend. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Good call out, Bovin, as usual, EMA. But there goes Smart. You piece of, good. Because we've been holding this one for a hot minute. Show yourself, Smart. There it is. And now we take out a couple of prints there. We're still waiting at 18s and 19s. This one had a seller of note at 15s, and you could see how many times we rejected that level. So we'll keep an eye here on SMRT, taking out some levels, 18 high. It's at 17s right now, Joey.
Yeah. Do you remember Smart Food? Did you ever eat Smart Food?
Remind me again.
It was like the cheddar popcorn.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah,
There's a whole bunch of. They had different lines though. It was smart popcorn. They had a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. Shout out to whoever ate that stuff back in the day.
Bao mi hua. That's popcorn in Mandarin. Bao mi hua.
Bao mi hua.
Yeah.
Bao mi hua.
How'd I do, my guys? In the chat.
All right.
Audit me. Let's go.
Audit. The Canadian skipped Smart Food, says Paul Thomas.
Okay, calm down, Paul Thomas. Not everybody up here is of that elk, okay? It's about 50-50 split. Calm the hell down, all right?
Same thing with you guys, man. I mean, at the end of the day. But hey, who cares? Bitcoin is all that matters right now at the end of the day. Can we break through this high? It's not looking like it just yet, but we're going to be patient on this one. Buy program in still full effect in the overall market. Again, send me in those tickers. Let's go over some options chain stuff. We're going to take a look at what we got reporting this evening as well, too, Sharif, because that is going to be a hot topic of the day. Apple Oven, Duolingo, a fan favorite of Sharif and I. IonQ, Let's Go, Elf Beauty, and DraftKings. Oh, DoorDash as well, too. Airbnb and Lyft. So another, are we going to call this a A-list? We'll call this the B-listers here, maybe, I think. But it's a pretty good look. But as for Bitcoin, guys, we're going to trim a little bit more up at this top here, guys, because it's looking really, really good, and we'll hold on to it. So another move off of those highs, reaching through that high of the day. What do you got going on? What are you laughing at?
I got to find out who this person is, Smiley.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
All right, yeah, we'll keep doing your thing. Yeah. There it is. Keep going. Why, this guy? See, I don't know, man. I don't know about this guy. Neil, my guy. Also, Katina, man, he's really locked in as well, too. Man. I was chess and baseball last night, Katina, man. It was good stuff. Yeah, it was fine stuff there. All right, so a lot of he's really locked in, so good stuff there as always. But yeah, another little piece off in Bitcoin, and this is what we want to do. Look at the volume really start to kick in.
Tell him, Joe.
Keep that in mind. That is something that we want to see as we're breaking through some key resistance levels. So there it is, 1 minute time frame. Boom, 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 boom. We're moving higher. That Freddie Mercury.
It's what's his name? Smiley from Training Day. Do I look like this guy? I don't think I look like it. It's just the stash. Say that again, Neil? The stash.
The stash.
Yeah. His is quite a bit longer too, bro. And the thing about the hairs on my stash, bro, they're wild, bro. I gotta tame those bitches.
Get the clippers on them. Yeah. Okay, Bitcoin, here we go. Another big pop.
Get it, Joe.
I gotta start posting, man. Why don't I post up? But it doesn't matter. There we go. We're just slowly piecing some out. Nice bull flag that we're experiencing in Bitcoin. Let's actually just break this down here real quick, guys. This is really important. VPA. We don't do our lessons anymore, but go back and watch some of these lessons that Sharif and I have done on small caps, on just basic indicators as well too, and then volume price analysis. We got things on options, as I mentioned before, but VPA. Let's get right into this. Look at the buying volume step in. Look at the selling volume. It's drastically smaller. And then what happens when we take those legs higher? Boom, the volume steps right back in. It's really important to follow what it's telling you because it can give you worlds. If you're looking for a breakout and you're not looking at the profile and you're like, why isn't it breaking? Why isn't it breaking? Well, the volume probably isn't stepping in, all right? So keep that in mind. Really important to gauge what volume's up to. Sure.
All right, man. That's a good look right there, Joey. Brother. All right, here's the deal. We're going to load up IMAB now because it looks like a bit of a deeper retracement, boys and girls, into the 20 exponential moving average on the 5. Let's have a look over here. This is too spready for me. 87s on the bid, 80 and 96 on the ask. That displeases me greatly. I'm going to have to say no to this one, Bovin. I know I like the pattern, man, especially a hold up off the 20. It does lose 4, though, so there is that kind of line in the sand. Yeah, I'm debating about this one. Does the spread tighten up? No. It's still staying at 9 pennies. It's maintaining that. And look how slow it is, at least to move. Like, the tape's barely moving on this, right? So right now it's got, what do we got? About 3.37 million in terms of volume. We're up 15.5%. I'll keep watching this. I'm going to leave it on the side chart. If the volume picks up and the spread tightens up, we can have a discussion. But as long as it's wide like that, it ain't for me. Shout out to Bovin. Bovin's like 385. That's my next buy level. I think it came into there, Bovin, just a couple of shekels above that. It held the 20. So the prior candle low, Bovin, came in at 386. So I think it was like a penny off that. All right. It is time to go to a dare for happening now. Then Neil has his lesson of the day.
Yeah, what's happening now in this market, we'll let you guys know and take a look. I think it's worth noting. Joey Shreve just mentioned this, but earnings tonight are going to be huge as well, so make sure you stay tuned with us. And the market really pushing higher ahead of those reports. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight green candles for the S&P 500, but it looks like we might break that straight. We are dipping a little bit lower with this 7th 15-minute candle for the straight. Nasdaq looking the exact same, pushing into today's highs, but notably for the Nasdaq as well, still below these yesterday's pre-market highs here. So we still have a little bit further to go to the upside. Apple on watch. This is very much to the upside. This is actually almost at high of day still. We do know that, Tim Cook and Donald Trump, president of the U.S., Tim Cook is, of course, the CEO of Apple. They're going to be making an announcement tonight, according to White House officials, on an additional $100 billion that Apple will be investing in the U.S. There is some speculation from sources including Ming-Chi Kuo, noted supply chain analyst, that this investment is actually not going to be about iPhone manufacturing specifically in the U.S., but manufacturing of other components. Then you have SHOP. So many earnings names today, guys. UBER, SHOP, and the smaller cap side, you had Oscar Health, Clover, and Opendoor. A lot of these earnings names making some notable moves. AMD, though, maybe one of the biggest ones on watch, dropping right off the open, though, right now, trying to come back a bit. And make sure if you like infographic content, check us out on X at TTV Research. I just updated this infographic to reflect Palantir. Now, as of yesterday's close, the 21st largest company by market cap. It was briefly the 20th at some point yesterday. Today it might be again, but as of yesterday's close, Palantir, the 21st largest company by market cap. UNH, notably the 35th, that used to be all the way up here. But yesterday, or I guess as of Friday's close, we were quite a bit lower. UNH, people trying to make a comeback. Palantir, already here. Make sure to like and subscribe as we send you over to Neil. And it's lesson of the day. Without further ado, take it away, Neil.
As always.
Thank you very much, Dara.
Got to get that in there. And I got to throw my 2 cents in because, first of all, Sharif does look like Smiley from Training Day. I'm with the crowd on that. That being said, my favorite of the trio, if you've seen Training Day, it's a great scene. One of the best scenes in the movie, actually. I like the dude that plays Tuco from Breaking Bad because he's in there as well. He's absolutely hilarious in that film. But the lesson I wanted to talk about today was sometimes learned it with Coin. It happened in Coinbase yesterday. And then this is something that happened today with Figma. But we actually had an opportunity in AMD with the same similar pattern. That's the idea that you like a certain price level or area to take a trade in a certain direction, but the first time it approaches that price, it's useless. Meaning, like, Coinbase is an example from this yesterday, right? Like I was thinking simple stair-step continuation short, like down, consolidate, down, like it just stair-step down since earnings. It's been under a lot of pressure. But by the time you get to the open, and it's at 304, or close to the open, it's at 304, the level that I like around the 310 level to play the short is going to require a push to the upside. Now it barely checks up here and starts to work for a little bit of a scalp trade before breaking out the high. So any short in there is almost certainly getting stopped out early on. But when you look at the entry after the fact, the level you like, confirmation of sellers as opposed to hoping sellers are there. There's a difference between at a level getting in when the sellers establish themselves or just getting in because that's the level. And the more the stock moves or the bigger the spread the stock, the more likelihood it is that it can run stops before it gets there. So this was a miss for me yesterday in Coinbase. So when you come on over, and I looked at this and said, oh, that's kind of nonsense. I can't miss out an opportunity if we see something like that happen again. I can't believe AMD is all the way back, V-shaped recovery. But AMD at the post-market low is kind of a similar story. It was up and down and not very clean off of that level early, but let it bounce at the open, and then it came in, showed significance at that low, And then once the sellers got in control at that low, you can get yourself into the trade. Now, obviously, do better than me and hold on to it past the low of the day. I probably wasn't bearish enough on AMD, to be honest with you. I actually thought that there'd be a good bounce play on it, and you'd be shorting more like tops instead of down here. But that's just personal bias. The point is, if you like that level, it doesn't have to set up right away and be gold. It can be a half decent trade the first time, like on Coinbase, but make sure once the sellers get in control at that level and show you signs, that's the better opportunity. And then the last one, because we always talk about it's all fun and games to talk about one that you got, but how about almost the exact same thing as Coinbase on Figma? So what's the price on Figma? IPOs do not have a lot of price history. 85 it opened at. 85 it flushed in the afternoon yesterday. Does it trend into 85? Absolutely. Does that area reject? Of course it does. But if you're not willing to wait until the sellers get into real control there, you can get chopped up. Yeah, a little scalp trade if you had it. When it breaks through, you can play it to VWAP. But it's the bounce off VWAP right back to that level that you're watching. You can call it a head and shoulders. It doesn't really matter to me. It's the fact it's making a lower high and confirming the sell under the 85. So you can call it waiting for the back end of the trade. You can call it waiting for confirmation, whatever it might be. When something has parabolic movement in it, sometimes it's better to try to catch that other side at the same price level, but in a different manner. And what that requires is, okay, it's stopped out and it's breaking above your 85 level. Now you're just waiting for the opportunity for the sell to look good there again. And maybe you got to wait for a half an hour. You didn't have to wait very long in AMD. You did have to wait a little bit here in Figma, but it can end up being worth it. And I would argue you could say the same thing coming back through 80 multiple times. Like, wait for it, show the strength at that 80 level. Once it gets there, you can jump on in. A really good trend is worth taking a couple shots at, and a really good level is worth waiting for confirmation at, because it doesn't always just go first time and you're going to absolutely get it. And one last thing, because I was actually saying this to Sean. I'm going to show this. And the training day has been out long enough. Don't anybody at me for spoiling scenes. This scene is absolutely one of the most epic scenes in training day. But there's one small problem with it. And anybody who has, if you have family or if you're like a father or whatever, you're going to understand this. If you are already, now remember, in this scene, dude is already ready to kill Jake as a cop. He's sitting in the, he's ready to do it, and he's locked and loaded. And then he produces the dude's nephew's wallet. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's not waiting for an explanation after that. If you were already ready to do the guy, and then you find out he's got your niece's wallet in the pocket, you're not asking any questions. It's just over in a heartbeat. Now, that said, for cinematic purposes, in situations like that, people don't react all that naturally. But I'm just simply saying, your fingers on the trigger in that situation, and then you see that, no, I'd be like, I'm not waiting to hear why. It's just game over at that point. Like, it would just be over in that situation. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. Before we get back to the boys, I cannot believe what AMD is doing in that recovery. I thought 57. This is a complete V shape. Watch out for that pre-market high. I might take another shot if it reverts at that 165. But that's your lesson of the day. You can have the price area correct, the price level correct, but you might have to wait for that confirmation. Tesla took 2 turns to 312. AMD took a couple turns to 85. Yesterday, Coinbase took a couple of turns to that 310 level. You just got to be ready for that second or third opportunity and sniper it when you get the chance. Back to the midday. Smiley, enjoy options.
Okay, Neil. All right. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that movie. I'm going to need a refresher because what Neil was just talking about there, it's not even jogging my memory. So, yeah, it's been a hot minute. Probably a decade, Neil, since I've watched that. I gotta watch that bad boy again. Man, I don't really watch movies anymore, man. Who the hell has the time,
There's no good movies out anyways, man. I don't remember the last time a legit good movie was made.
Yeah, well, it's been
Jurassic Park 2, or the new Jurassic Park, hot garbage. It's an embarrassment.
Damn.
And then the new Superman as well, not that good. Fantastic Four, not that good. So there's just a lot of not that good out there. So.
Oh, all right, baby. I rode the AMD bottom and made back my 2K lost. Muhahaha. Thank you, Neil. You were spot on. Shout out to Kelving's GTS. Hope you printed up multiple storms on AMD and continue to print multiple storms on AMD. Yeah, we'll obviously get to AMD on the news, Joey, but, you know, if you don't show what the market wants in terms of AI, and in their case is that their data center revenue, you're going to pay.
As you mentioned, it's fantastic that your gaming, we'll talk about it more, but it's fantastic that your gaming sector is up, or segment, division is up 68%. But no one really cares about that.
No, they don't care.
No one really cares about that.
It's because it's like a fraction. It's a drop in the bucket relative to you know, everything else. I did like a lot of what they said, Joey. The MI350, which is their GB or their B200 equivalent, on schedule. Now we're talking about the MI400, which is the next gen. That's for next year, obviously. The GB300 equivalent or the B300 equivalent. So yeah, but as we talked to about with Adara yesterday about Taiwan Semi and their production and allotting some of that production capacity to AMD, because up until now, basically dominated by NVIDIA, taking all their production capacity. So even if they wanted to make it, they couldn't, because there's just nobody to make them. So we'll have to see how much they can allot to AMD. That's really been the issue between AMD and NVIDIA. AMD just can't make them, right? And NVIDIA's got first dibs on Taiwan Semi's production capacity, and that's just basically how it's been. So yeah. Keep an eye out on that. Follow that if you're invested in these companies, so you can know what's going on. All right, guys, there's really not much going on in my world. A couple of these names are still, they're okay. SMRT did pop back into that 119 area, made a new high, holding the higher low at 15, so we're break even on that one for the last remaining amount. And GNS, my best winner so far, pulling back in to the 20 exponential, bouncing again, but it's off the highs at $1.21. So we'll see if this one can make higher highs. It's got higher lows. I'm comparing this area low here into 112 based on where I got in originally, which was 109. So that's another higher low for me. But the pickings are slim today in small cap gapper world. Make sure you kind of realize that, because, Adara, look what just popped up. I'm going to show you right now. Assassino. She's going to know this one very well. Many people will know this very well. CPOP is back. Oh, baby.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
You had a feeling, right? Because that one got a lot of love. Shout out to CPOP. Yeah, and this one is making moves to the high side, $1.85 high, dropping back down, trying to clear that $1.75. CPOP, this is a former convict. That's why Adara and I were getting excited, because we traded this on the midday before. It's CPOP, obviously, but we lovingly call it CPOP. But we're going to keep an eye out on this one. Joey, it's breaking out a few shekels off the high over here. Shout out to Nimrud. He gave us shekels, by the way, which I do have in my bag, which I will bring out. And every time I say the word shekel, Joey Option, show him what you got, baby.
You got one shekel. Right
there it is. Show the big camera there.
Oh, yeah.
It's blurry AF there, though.
Blurry, yeah.
There you go.
There you go. A little lackluster, but that's okay.
That's okay. So we're gonna keep an eye here on CPOP, guys, and if it breaks out, we'll see how it does, and then maybe we'll weasel into this one. Let's give it actually its own trading screen. This LHAI is hot garbage. Let's go like that. There we go. It's a 1 penny spread, already pleasing me. And it's got about 6.6 million shares trade on the day. Not bad. It's not the greatest, obviously, for a dollar stock, $1.50 stock. So I'm going to be really intently watching to see if we can take out the 185. The only problem with CPOP right here is it doesn't seem to be respecting any of these technical areas, whether they're moving averages, previous areas of support or resistance. So it's all over the map. I don't know what the hell to think about this one. So I would like it to clear $1.85. At least that way I can say, okay, you know, maybe we'll use that $1.85 area as support. So that's what I'll keep my eye on now. Joey, what do you got?
Yeah, absolutely. So David, they're called a loony and a toonie. So $1 and $2.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So if you're ever curious about that, that's what we call them. Okay, Ethereum. Topping signal here. Bitcoin starting to sell off here, so I got to listen to what the PA is telling me. We did get a little bit more out there, and I have about 40% of the position remaining, so that's not too bad. I do have the feeling that we're going to get this stopped out break even, but nice indecision print right there on ETH, right at an extreme high, and then sure enough, boom, we play the break of that low, and it's continuing to the south side. So yeah, we're going to sit in this. If it comes back to the break even, then so be it, but also in the TQs in the SPY, slightly toppy PA as well. well right now. Nice indecision print at those highs. But I think just considering that Amazon and Apple are really strong, I'm going to avoid just trying to short it, right? I don't want to frustrate myself being like, why aren't you selling? Why aren't you selling? When you have a couple of the biggest names on the planet continuing to climb higher, and that's going to be in the likes of Amazon and AAPL. My guy Stevenson said he crushed some AMD, so we'll take a look at that. Nice AMD shorts. We were short from here, and then we got out roughly around here, and then it made an additional move. But again, another signal, boom, and then you get to move all the way to the top side, north of the volume-weighted average price, slowly starting to curl over. You just want to do some basic TA on this one to prove that you're forming these lower highs, and sure enough, you reject that specific level. And that's what I did on the 1 minute as well, too, so just keep that in mind. That's what helped me stay within this trade, is that from a shorter duration, is that I was just looking at this. If it cracked through that trend line and sat on the back side of it, then I was going to hop right out of that trade. So that's where we get the add. Fails to establish a new high there, you add a little bit more. Fails to put in a new high right there again, and then once you crack that level and open up south of the volume-weighted average price is when you get a little bit, add a little bit more there. You take some off, and then boom, boom, boom. Tape is really weak. You just continuously add into those positions. So that's what we got cooking up. Still sitting in this IBIT trade. Hopefully it doesn't sell off too aggressively, and we can break through this. The ebbs and flows of this name can be a little turbulent, that's for sure. They're pretty deep pullbacks, but then it recovers relatively quickly. So you can see, boom, you get that deep pullback, and then sure enough consolidates a little bit longer and then moves higher. You get another pullback, consolidates, and then you get that additional leg higher. Is it going to happen for a third time? I have no idea. But this is what I'm talking about here on shorting the TQs at these highs when some of the bigger names want to continue to climb higher. I feel that Amazon doesn't want to stop, and you don't want to be short the overall market when you have a mega cap name like this that is just on the warpath. So just keep that in mind here, guys. It's just, just continuing to climb higher and higher. The Spartans are on the warpath. So yeah, well, shout out to one of my favorite movies there as well too.
300?
Yeah,
about 300?
Easily, I can watch that movie over and over again. I used to have it on. Man, I used to have a wicked sound system, and I used to play the movie Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf and 300, and just like listen to it so loud. It's just the music in 300 just gets me so amped up. Yeah,
I like the way that they made it kind of look like like a not a comic, but you know what I mean? Like,
that kind of that animation effect to it.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, it was done really,
effect.
really well. Yeah,
like,
one of my favorite.
It's an OG movie, bro.
Very OG. But there it is, guys. A beautiful move there, as Obi would like to say, on Amazon. And then we'll take a look at some of these mega names as well, because we haven't seen what they were really up to. So there it is. Meta wanting to climb a little bit higher as well, guys. So keep that in mind. If this consolidation breaks and wants to punch through this high of the day, it's going to drag the Qs up along with it. So just keep that in mind, right? So that's why it's really, really tough to go short the Qs when you have all these big boys that have a different agenda. Break through the volume weighted average price. A nice move here. Katina, man, I heard it's $700 in the money.
He's $7 in the money. What are we talking about here? Burke B?
No.
Burke A, I mean?
Well, I was reading something, and I don't know why your channel cat said that, so we're going to hide that one. So, yeah. Anyways, that's what we got going on. Some nice moves in the big.
There it is. All right, CPOP is on the warpath to the high side, guys. All right, I have to look at SGBX, but I really wanted to tell you guys, CPOP, there it is. There is the breakout. It's taking out 85s. It's a 93 high now. It's up 57%, and it's on the way to $2, it feels like. There's a seller, a prohibitively large seller, at 91, not posting on any of the gateways. It is a hidden order. He just got decimated, and there it goes into the high of the day. It's a 97 high. I saw 97s there, but my program's telling me 96. No, this one is right. This says 97 up here. So be on the lookout right now. CPOP, we were talking about the pickings are slim today for the small cap gappers, but CPOP works its way onto the scene. We'll look at that in a second, but I want to keep my word for the individual in the chat that wanted me to look at SGBX. So first and foremost, if I can avoid the sub $1 stocks, I will avoid them. I traded one yesterday, and it annoyed me to no end. Why do I say that? Because there's just so many different price levels at which you can put sell orders, and I feel it is a thicker trade. It is so hard to clear the 1 penny area because there's all these tenths of a penny that you have to clear because people post at that level. So if I can avoid the sub $1 stocks, I will for that reason. In addition to that,
You tapped in there, brother?
I am not. Sorry, Assassino.
It's all right.
I was
Me trouble,
disconnected.
you
In addition, I just want to finish
Yeah,
this
yeah,
real
go
quick.
right ahead, bro.
In addition to that, Luis Barbado, small cap gapper trader from Barcelona, and obviously with Real Trading, he gave us a really good piece of information that a lot of these algorithms, bigger algos that trade these small cap gappers, won't turn on until it clears that dollar level. So you have less participation by bigger money traders in these sub $1 names. That is not a hard and fast rule, but it has been my observation. Joseph, sorry to keep you waiting.
Perfect stuff. What's up, Greg? Savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 with Beta Pro 3X daily leverage ETFs featuring built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. There you go, brother. There you go. You have anything else there?
I'm just punching. I'm working into CPOP over here.
Yeah, I see that. I see that you got going on. Greg, would you trade today? I don't have access to my Discord there anymore. Here, I got to reload on or re-sign in on that. But obviously, I don't know any of the passwords. It's not in the old password log here, so we got to keep that in mind. But yeah, we're long. We're probably gonna
Get it, Joe.
Pardon me?
I don't know. Ram was saying something.
What is it? Yeah, we'll see. All right, watch out, man.
She's so sinister,
We can
bro.
try to get into the
Sinister is her middle name.
But yeah, no, we're still long this bit here to see what we got going on. I do have a feeling or suspicion that we may get stopped out, but if we can hold these bases pretty well, then I think we'll be okay. But just keep an eye out on the lower time frame pattern, shoulder 1 head, potential shoulder 2 if you don't crack this and continue to climb higher, all right? So we'll put in this support level right here. As soon as that's breached, the chances of us, getting stopped out are gonna be increased. So just keep that in mind, all right? So Greg, check out this one here earlier. So this is where we were short AMD. What is it? We were short AMD here earlier in the day. Attempt 1 didn't work out. Attempt 2, boom, boom, boom. Add, takes them off, add a little bit more, and then we move it to the downside for a nice 4-pointer right there. But we're focusing on IBIT as we're probably going to get stopped out any moment. It's cracking through support, so just keep that in mind. Google put in a big-time volume signature right here as well, too, Goref. So take a look at this one. Nice topping tail candle right here. Buyers push it all the way up to 196 and then have the ability to push it right back down. But then you also have the volume supporting it right there as well. So keep that in mind. A bunch of good opportunities are going to be on there, are displaying themselves here momentarily. Sharif.
All right, man. I've been trying to get more on CPOP over here. This thing is going nuts. So we got in at 14s, scalped up into 33s. We're all done the trade, but I actually tried to add in the mid-teens. I was so close to getting the ad, but didn't allow me. It's not the spread, it's the speed here of the price action. This is fantastic breakout right now on CPOP. Go, CPOP, go. 247 high, dropping back down into 230s. I feel like this is one of those times where the 5-second chart certainly would help find the micro pullbacks. I'm just trying to load that up here with old man hands can't hang, and then the old man has to wait for the old chart to load up. All right, so here we go. So we are at a bit of a downtrend now with some lower highs. I want to see the buying above 35. There does seem to be a 35 seller, but we are putting in lower highs now. Sorry, lower lows, excuse me, coming into that 2 1/5. We lose 2 1/4 super quick. Let's see if the buying can start moving back up again. I'm looking for a print and hold above 235. There does seem to be an area seller in and around that area. What I'm looking at is my top chart, which is a 5-second chart. The 5-second chart obviously shouldn't really be used outside. I don't know, maybe it should. But I personally only use it for these small cap gappers in order to find where the buyers and sellers are setting up. It's kind of like, just looking at the level 2, but having, what Adara has, an eidetic memory, knowing exactly where that buyer and seller was stepping in. or you can use a program called Bookmap. We're not sponsored by them, nor have we ever been, but it also kind of shows you where the large buy and sell orders are. So I kind of tried to use the 5-second chart to help me in that regard. Anyway, it looks like we're getting some buying here off 220. There's a buyer of note around 219, 220. The sellers can't seem to shake them right now. And that's a prior area low as well. I want to say around 1223.15. We're losing it a little bit here, so I'm going to continue to watch this level. I want to see if I can get in now. On the 5-minute is an ugly, ugly topping tail candle. It is losing the bid. Here comes $2. That's why I'm really happy I didn't punch in there at around 220 at that buyer. I just didn't see the higher highs. Let's see now if that $2 area wants to hold as a psychological area of support, because I'm looking at the 5-second chart and there was no resistance at that $2 area. It went through $2 no problem on the way up. So I don't anticipate it to really use $2 as a price action support and resistance area, maybe a psychological area, but certainly not price action, and certainly not reflected here on the 5-second chart. So I'm going to continue to watch. We're still putting in lower highs, so the sellers are still in control. Let's see if they're able to flip the switch here and we're able to kind of make another aggressive move up. Here we go. We're going to give this one the old college try. Where are we in at? We're in at 10s. We'll take some there at 12s, and we'll also post at the mid-teens. Anything below $2 gets me out of this trade. Simple as that. So we're going to go 198, and then we'll go all the way down here for this amount, okay? So we'll just pop that in there. So we're in at 9s. It's selling here at 9, so it did pop up, I believe, into 14s. We didn't get the fill because we're waiting at 15s. So it's a micro pullback to the high side, but an unsustained pullback. So if we lose here $2, that's going to be the end of my trade, because that'll be another area low. So I'm trying to see where the micro pullbacks are coming in. The seller at 10 is a staunchy seller, can't shake him. So we can't get through that 10, Katina, man, because he keeps selling up a storm at that level. So it's going to be who has more juice, the buyers or sellers at this level. So we wick up momentarily into 11, but no sustained movement. That's enough for me there. I'm out of this one. I don't like it. I think it's going to break down again. If it ends up clearing 15s, I can always punch back into this one, but it feels like we are putting in lower highs and on the way to a lower low. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, fantastic. I'll get right back into 15s. So right now I'm out, Joey. We're going to keep an eye out on this one, no question about it. Yep. GNS, though, breaking out again, and there it goes into the high. That's a new area high here on GNS, so we'll wet the beak there. We're still waiting at 25s on that one. Packing my patience on GNS. Back to CPOP. CPOP is a ticker. Still watching that fight between buyers and sellers unfold at around 209, 210. It's flatlining on the 5-second chart. It's literally flatlining because there's an equilibrium right now, it feels like, between buyers and sellers. Let's see who wins out this battle. Above 215, I go long, Joey.
All right, you've seen Trade the Pool here with us for a while now, and now Trade the Pool has created something special just for you. A free ebook featuring 4 proven swing trading strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside, you'll see exactly how they approach the market, how they manage risk, and what setups they rely on, so you can learn and grow from what actually works. Download it now by scanning the QR code or on screen by hitting the link in the description there, guys. So check that one out. Trade the Pool Friday morning. Okay, let's read what my guy Stevenson, $5. Joe, I bought Google at 191, holding August 15th, 197 calls. I'm looking for 202 for a gap play. What do I think about this? Well, my friend, this is where I have Google up for you. 191, so you're in at the lower end of that range. Congratulations, that's a pretty good look there, my friend. 202 by next week. That's tough. So 191, that's pretty good. You're sitting on some pretty pennies. But Stevenson, I don't know, my friend. Why are we buying these shorter dated contracts? If you wanted to hit 202, why are you worried about your expiration cycle? You want it to go there. That's the thing. It won't be promised by next Friday, right? You got to keep that in mind. Just buy the further dated. I'm glad that you're heavily in the money on those, but give yourself more time in order for the trade thesis to work out. And sure enough, you won't have to stress about just losing theta to your in your contract, right? So, but once again, congratulations on that. Let's kind of just chart where we got going on, and I'll say that to everybody, right? Like, why are we still buying these shorter dated contracts when we have a longer duration type play? So here it is, 197.53. you break that, Stevenson, then you're gonna be sitting on some pretty pennies, all right? So that's kind of the objective that you want to see here, that 197.95 level. You can see that we have multiple touches at that specific area. As soon as that is broken and held, I think you're gonna be sitting on some pretty pennies. But again, you don't have much time, right? So it could take a week, it could take 2 weeks, it could take a month. That's why you just always want to buy a little extra time there, Sharif.
Yeah, sorry, it was just, no, I'm good to go, I'm good to go. All right, so we had a decent trade. Look, it's nothing to write home about here on CPOP. Look, it's just thickly traded at this level. We're not getting the breakout. We're getting that kind of sideways consolidation. But last time we got that sideways consolidation, it broke out. So I'm going to get back in over here, and I'm going to give myself a nice little tight stop. Did we get in? We got in at 24s. All right, let's go ahead and post up into the 90s. Anything I want to say below 15 gets me out of this trade. Okay, so we're gonna risk a little bit over here, and we'll see what we get. We won't get upset. So let's go ahead and put at 14s. Oh, it looks like it's gonna lose it already, Joey. Dang. All right, so throw that on there. So where are we in? We're in at 24s. It's still showing me 24. So that seller there got removed. 25s now. Another prohibitively large seller at 25. So they're posting now at every penny, guys. Watch out for the short sellers here on CPOP. They're really looking to take this one down. There's selling at almost every penny. It's just about whether or not the longs can outduel them and outmuscle them to the high side here. That's what it feels like. So I'm going to pack my patience. Again, anything below 14 gets me out of this trade, but we're going to see if we can take something into the 30s over here. Again, now putting in a little bit lower highs. So we were showing 24s. Now we're showing 22s as the short seller becomes more and more aggressive. It feels like on every successive pop. Are the longs, are the buyers, the demand side of the equation, are they going to step in anytime here? So have a look at the time in sales. Nope, we lost that bid, and there we go, flatten out there for, okay. Flatten out, please. Thank you. We'll take more of a loss there than we had planned for as a result of the slippage. So it looks like we got stop punted. It goes all the way down into 2, then rocketing right back up into that 215 area. So we'll give back a little bit there. That's part and parcel of trading these small cap gappers. Let's watch the hold at 2. Do we get a hold at 2? So that was a prior area low. I want to say around 1223 essentially. I'm looking at the 5-second chart, so I can be super specific over here. So we'll see if that $2 level, kind of gives the buyers a second win, and we can clear that 2.25, because that 2.25 was a staunchy level. All right, so we'll pack our patience there, and we'll see what we get out of that. Let's move back to Smart, see how we did on that one. No new prints on this one. Just the best I did there was 18s. Packing my patience on that, a bit of a slower mover. I also want to bring your attention to IMAB. So CPOP is all the rave at the moment, but IMAB also happens to be a good one. It's a bit more expensive. Not really. It's a $4 name. How come we don't have it on the side chart over here? Let's load up IMAB. There we go. Now it'll update. It's clearing that $4 level, Bovin. So this one looked like, because Bovin called it out to me earlier. This one was holding that 10 EMA quite well. It then drops down for a bit of a deeper retracement into the 20. And here we go again. We're trying to clear that $4 area, but we had trouble with 4 originally, right? And that's kind of why we didn't get involved in this trade, because it was just too close to that area of psychological support. So we'll keep tabs on that, Joey, and we'll also keep tabs on CPOP.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree on you. Then Belfin. Man, I probably butchered that one. But again, this is for what we're doing and what our objective is, right? If you have a higher
Jeez, sorry about that.
That's all right. If we have kind of a higher price target and a bigger expectation, you gotta buy the time. And I'm not going to disagree on what you said. It's most definitely an art, like a lot of trading is. So yeah. Thank you for that comment. Get my boy some coffee. DJ, what's up, DJ 2 a.m.? Hope everything is going good on your end there, brother. But yeah, that's what we got going on here. So you can see we enter, take a little bit off, and then we get stopped out, break even. I'm curious to see if we're gonna move in the same trajectory. But I do feel that we're forming this head and shoulders pattern. So even on the 5-minute shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2, possibly, and then you break that neckline, who knows, you might run into the volume weighted average price. Then you look for any forms of indecision around that realm, and then sure sure enough, boom, you can get that continuation to the top side. So that's the game plan on that. I mentioned that I was thinking short the Qs, but then just with everything being so strong, and what I'm referring to is a lot of these the tech-heavy names, Google looks like it wants to continue to climb higher. Apple's not really giving up where it's been trading at, still hovering around those highs of the days, and there's no excessive selling in that. It just keeps continuously getting bought up, and Amazon is really strong as well too. What is Tesla up today? Did anybody really look at Tesla today? I personally haven't. Not too bad of a look here. First 15 minutes, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, for all my 5-minute orb traders, this is exactly what you want to look for. A nice, strong close. Very little selling pressure. You get in at the break of the candle or the wick, whatever your preference may be, and then you just continue that move from 311 all the way up to 317. So that was a really good look. Bull flag, take that additional leg higher, then just grind to the top, and now just slowly turtle shell curl over on that one. So yeah, not too bad of a look on Tesla. Did I trade? I traded a couple days, on Monday I think, and after that I'm like, you know what, I just gotta avoid this name for now until we get some positive news, and there's gonna be more conviction within the price action and a specific direction. So just keep that in mind. That's what we've got going on. We went over some of the mag names, but now let's hop into some of these, because we're getting kind of close to that time where we're going to run into the news. But let's get into some expected moves and see what we got going on there, because we have that B-list, the B-lister lineup that I was referring to earlier. Expected move. No, that's not it.
What happened?
There it is. Expected move. There we go. We're live now, Sharif. So let's take a look at what we got going on here. We'll pull up our earnings watch list as well, and then not with all of them. Some of them we will correlate the options chain with a couple of the names. I think IONQ, DKNG, and then maybe DoorDash, because we like Uber's numbers this morning as well too. So AAPP. Let's start with AppLovin here. Shout out to Mick Lovin. I'm still waiting on that thing from Fabian. But there we go. 14.3%, 226% at the money IV with a high of around 438 and a low of around 328.58. All right, so that's expensive, and that's a pretty wide expected move, an implied move here that we're seeing on AppLovin. Duolingo, a fan favorite of Sharif and I.
I actually hate that program, bro.
You don't? Oh, you really?
No, of course. They flipped the switch on me on Mandarin. What the hell was that?
Never mind Duolingo. We don't like them anymore. No, I'm only 14.4% with 119.7% at the money IB with a high of around, wow, it's really expensive, 386.97 and a low of around 289.47. All right. Now, I like this, right? IonQ, especially the quantum space. I think it's going to be continuously be emerging and continuously grow. So there it is, 11.1%, 184.4% at the money IV with around a $45 high and a $36 low. All right, so that's IonQ, DKNG. I don't want to go over Elf Beauty because. KNG, same thing here, guys. 7.9% expected move, 138.8% at the money IV. Let's pull up the options chain on this one to see if we see anything specific from a call or put wall. I don't think it is because it's not overly heavily traded, right? So overly heavily makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so that's what we got going on. So the open interest is in the hundreds. So there's nothing substantial right there other than at that $44 strike price, 44.5, I should say. You have, actually, sorry, 45, I stand corrected. 3,304 contracts at that, 34 contracts right there. So nothing substantial to be like, hey, this is going to be a specific call or a put wall or anything along those lines, all right? So just keep that in mind. We'll go over a couple more names here before we send it over to my guy. Dash, that's the last one we'll go over here. Dash. DoorDash, expected move, earnings report this evening, 8.6%, 150% at the money IV with a high of around $279 and a low of around $235, Sharif.
All right, we are going to Adira. I believe she has news at the big desk.
I don't have news, but I just wanted to talk about one of the names I'm most excited for to report after the bell. That's AppLovin. Now, you can find this infographic on X at TTV Research. It had quite the weird early start of the year. We actually made new all-time highs at 520 on day one. Our earnings, this is going back to Q4 2021, so February 2025. Q4 2024. This move happened earlier this year. And then within a couple weeks, we got 3 short reports. This stock actually halted intraday on the date February 26, 2025. Intraday hold for a $300 plus ticker. So APP earnings could be interesting. This is a name that can move, and much like Robinhood, it's been eligible for addition into the S&P 500 for quite a while. But no positive news as names like Coinbase and Datadog get added ahead of it. So interesting look here. Keep an eye on APP and get ready for more earnings infographics to come as we head into those reports, guys. Back to you.
For that, Adara.
Thank you, Adara.
All right, so CPOP over here has been quite interesting. I think it's bull flagging. It's either going to really break out aggressively over that 2.25, 2.33, or it's really going to lose $2. So some mixed success here. Scalp, stop out, scalp, stop out. So very choppy sideways action. That's the flag component of the bull flag you feel. So whether or not 2 ends up holding and we get something a little bit higher, as I mentioned, 2.25, 2.33 is where I'm kind of gauging the top end of that bull flag is. Not on a wick basis, obviously. The wicks go to 247, but the closing prints are all around 2.25, 2.33. So I'm going to leave this one for the moment. It does seem to have some bamboozlement, and here's what I mean by that. Like you're working with the higher lows, then you get a big spike down to probably push a lot of people out, then it rockets right back up. So the algos are in control when it's this sideways move, and I don't want to be part of that sideways move. Wait till it kind of like breaks out, and then we'll have the conversation there. But I want to work somehow into IMAB, because the chart pattern that this one's got is quite good, even though it's slowed down a little bit in its ascent round. It's showing me 403 momentarily here. And this is what I mean by I feel like it's got definite selling in and around that $4 area. I mean, it's a 406 high, but anything really above 4 has been really tough for this one. So, oh, wow. Come on, CPOP. It pops right back into the high there. There we go. Now it looks like it's breaking out. CPOP into that 2.25, 2.33 area. But it's still zigging and zagging right now. Look at that. Every time it makes another area high, it is being dropped right back down. Let's see if does this one have the juice to let loose above that 2.33. So I don't know, man. I just haven't been trading this one accurately, at least on a continuous basis. Maybe a couple of wins here and there, but it's bamboozling me here. I should have been basing most of my outs on 2. If I had based my outs on 2, I wouldn't have been chopped up as much. But that is that's an after the fact analysis. So let me know how you guys are looking at CPOP right here. Are you looking for the long above 2.33, or what's your situation? Tag me. Let me know. Urban Trader CPOP will hit 260. Watch, brother, I would love if they did that. I mean, I have no problem with CPOP hitting 260. I mean, but it's just, it's the way that it's getting there. It seems like it's quite thickly traded at these levels. Down into the mid-teens it goes. Does it have support in the mid-teens over here? Let's have a look. Nope, losing it aggressively into the low teens. But then, like every single time, it loses aggressively. Then the buyers step in as aggressively, but we're still putting in lower highs. So even though you're getting little bounces there off the low teens, you're not getting continuity. Yeah, this one's super choppy right now. Let it break out, and we'll get back involved. So that's my look on CPOP. Let's see what else is moving. IMAB. We're talking about this one. There we go. Now it's into the new high day. So IMAB taking out the sellers, but the volume is still not supporting the price action here, at least not as well as it could be. 3.87 million shares. We're at the day high. There's another day high now. It's 408s coming in. So that's a new day high. So on IMAB, can we use 4 now as support? I wouldn't think so. I don't think we're far enough away from it. I think I'm going to punch in here at the highs, and we'll just try to nurse our way in. It won't even let me in. So we're waiting at 7. It's not letting me in. So we'll pack our patience on that one. Joey, what do you got?
Same thing here, guys. We're looking to short this market here now. So this is exactly what I'm pulling up to see what we got going on. Right, want to keep an eye on a lot of these names. Nice indecision print on the TQs right there. But Amazon, Google, Apple, Meta, Tesla, Microsoft to see what they're all doing. Meta looking like it wants to sell off a little bit here. Amazon topping, Google topping, Apple still hovering around those highs, and then we got Microsoft below the volume weighted average price. So yeah, we'll start really small on this trade. Just in case it does want to do another liquidity grab to the top side, but there is a lot of selling pressure, and that's something positive that we like seeing. So just keep that in mind, and let me get this out of my way so we can get involved in that. Why is it doing that? Okay, there we go. We're getting our life together now. Everything is working out just fine, Sharif. And boom, we're going to get involved. I like that topping signal. I got to give this about 40 cents or so. So yeah, we'll start that really, really small. Anything higher than, I think that's going to be a bonus, increase the risk to reward in case the market does want to sell off. But Apple is just super strong. All right, so this might be a horrible play, but I think if we have the ability to break 88, then maybe we can get that move back towards the volume weighted average price. And oh wow, okay,
What,
I love it when things just work out in your favor. Sorry, Sharif.
What happened?
Yeah, so we got a big volatility spike right there in the market.
Okay.
Across a lot of names. Meta moving to the south side. The TQs, literally, dude, look at this. As soon as I punch in, it just flushed.
I love that. Those are the best.
Yeah.
Those are the
best.
absolute
I'm like,
best.
wow, that was crazy. So yeah, when you're driving, you're driving at the end of the day. So
Hey.
let's see if we can continue this trajectory. If it's something negative, then I think we're going to be sitting in a pretty good spot. Microsoft is starting to cool off, but that worked out really well. Timing was pretty good there on that one. But again, we're really, really small size here, Sharif.
All right, man, we're working back into CPOP over here. Now I'm trying to change my strategy to account for these dips and pops. So I've punched in at 29s and I've have an order to add into the mid-teens. So if it does lose the bid, which it's already shown its propensity to do, at least we'll be on the receiving end of that for the higher lows type situation, because that's what we're getting, at least on a a 3 candle basis. We do have higher lows on every successive candle. That doesn't have to hold forever, but that's what my attempt is going to be at this one right now. So we're going to try to weasel in the high teens. Over here, I've got an order waiting at 17s. Steven, I will look at DNN, but the thing is, I'm just really trying to focus on CPOP at the moment because it really does require my attention because it moves crazy. So yeah, I will look at that for you. Let me throw it on the side chart so that I don't forget. So what was the ticker there, my man? As we dip down, okay, I have to focus on this. I can't do that at the moment. There we go. So we did get the dip trade now. So let's go ahead and post here at 26. Now, what's going to be my out, right? So that's going to be the question over here that I have to ask myself. My out on this one should be prior bar low, right? Because, well, that's where it's been holding out. So 209. So let's go ahead and wait down there. I'm going to actually wait for an order in and around that area. So I want to front run that, right? Okay, so that's not a bad idea. So we'll place an order there. We'll see what we get here. We got 22s on at the moment, but it's definitely not as strong, and it does look like it's going to lose the prior bar low. Let's see if it finds some support at that $2 area. That's where the 10 EMA is, and then VWAP's at 195. So that's going to be the line in the sand, clearly. Can't pick up that call right now. There we go. Let's post again over here if we can at 21s to see what we can get something up there. What was that one you want me to look at? DNN. There it is. Let's have a look at DNN. What is this? Okay. Interesting look for this one. What is DNN, by the way? Let me just move that over. Denison Mines. It's a small capper? No, it's a $2 billion market cap. It's up 1.5% on the day. Look, it's a light trade. It's definitely not doing volume today, but it's not a bad looking name. And we know mines are very much in focus right now. And I'm not speaking to the actual fundamentals of the company, of which I know nothing, but I just know that mines are very much in focus with rare earths very much at the forefront right now between the trade negotiations between China and the United States. So I definitely like that. And I also like that deal that Apple made with MP Materials. So we're seeing a lot of that. The reshoring of the inputs into the supply chain definitely can't hurt much. So I like the space. I don't know much about the company. It looks like a good chart off that bottom, though, Joey. Anything you got? Because I just got to focus on the trade over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're still short this. I don't even know what this guy's saying. Mike, the make it make sense. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to say that with your name, and what you're saying to me is like I'm trying. Everything you put in the chat, I'm trying to make sense of it, and I just can't wrap my head around it for some reason. I don't know. It's not nothing bad, but whatever you're suggesting for me, thank you, but no thank you, my friend. So there it is, TQs, 2.8%. Still short this name. If it blows out this top, then we'll just hop out of this trade. You can see that on that momentum swing to the downside. We didn't break through that 88 level, and that's why we're not continuing. And there it is, Amazon, Meta's moving higher, Google's moving higher, Amazon's moving higher, and Google's just Apple's just hovering around its highs there. So yeah, we're going to need them to break down in order to get it this trade to work. But that's okay. 88, south of 88, we'll take a little bit of profit off, and then if we get stopped out, break even. If we even get that, which I don't even know in this case if we're going to. I know a lot of people have been telling me the 10-year is coming up, so that's going to be really, really important. Adara, what do you got for us?
Just want to remind you guys here, we do have that 10-year as just mentioned there. High yield previous 4.362%. What's going to matter more, as Sharif often talks about, is the high yield right before the auction. We don't have that yet, obviously, because it's not right before the auction. But keep an eye on that. The previous print, 4.362%. These auctions don't always move the market, but they can very much be market-moving events, so it's worth being aware of them. Also, worth noting, apparently the president of Switzerland is ready to leave D.C. without reaching a tariff deal with the U.S. So not huge, but something maybe worth noting here. Market a little bit off its day's high right now, but bouncing off 560, 550. Back to you.
Yeah, let's find out how much they do in terms of trade there. How much trade does the USA do with Switzerland? Let's find out. Okay, too bad. I mean, in 24 anyway, Joey, goods and services between the two countries was approximately 188 billion, which was a big increase from the previous year. So it looks like it's actually increasing here, the amount of trade they do with one another, as opposed to decreasing. U.S. trade goods, exports plus imports with Switzerland were about 88.4 billion in 24. I thought you just said, okay, okay. With U.S. exports totaling 25 billion and imports from Switzerland 63 billion. Okay. This produced a U.S. goods trade deficit with Switzerland of about 40 billion, 38.3 billion, which increased by over 50% from the previous year. No wonder he's so gung-ho about this. Okay. U.S. trade in services with Switzerland reached about 99.7 billion in 24, with U.S. service exports to Switzerland at 64.7 billion and imports at 35 billion, giving the U.S. a service trade surplus of 29.7. Not a goods trade surplus, but a service trade surplus. That's interesting there, Joseph. It kind of makes sense, given that, you know, the U.S. economy is, I think, 2/3 service, give or take. I forget the exact number, but generally for Western democracies, it's usually around 2/3. Not a hard and fast rule, but
Service revenue.
yeah, a lot more service than anything else. All right, so I'm still in CPOP over here, still kind of bull flagging. We're 4 pennies out of the money right now because it's 19s, all right, popping into 16s. It's not really blasting though, so I'm a little concerned, but we've posted some of these, we've layered the orders, the resting profit takers. So if it blasts up, we should be able to get some profits over here. Showing 17s, there's a lot of selling though at every level, Joey, so we're gonna have to pack our patience.
All right, guys. VinFast delivered over 35,800 EVs in the Q2 of 2025, marking a 172% jump from last year. That brings their first half total to more than 72,000 EVs and up over 220% year over year. With stronger sales usually in the second half, they're on the pace to easily double the 2024 97,000 units. They're also crushing it on two-wheelers with nearly 70,000 e-scooters and bikes sold in Q2, up 432% from a year ago. And with gas-powered two-wheelers being phased out in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City by 2026, the growth potential looks huge. You can find them on the Nasdaq under ticker VFS. There, guys. So there it is. VFS. Sharif, you're good there. You're focusing on your trades there, brother.
Yeah.
Okay. The TQs. Amazon. I'm only playing. TQs. Amazon continuing to climb. Just put it in an additional high of the day. I like the question that you've asked me in the chat there. I forget who it was, but it was a really good question. So why short the market instead of just individual names? I think that's a fantastic question, and I truly need to sit down and ask myself that, because as I've been mentioning a lot throughout the session, Amazon is on the war path, and it's really tough to go against some of these mega names that are just deciding to put in a buy program, and you can see that I'm short. So it may not be the best idea, and the thing is, though, if you take those stabs, you have to come to the conclusion or the realization that, hey, your thesis may be wrong, and don't try to milk a stone, as I often say. Adara, what do you got for us?
Some news that might be helping Amazon here as well. I'm seeing apparently the National Highway Traffic Safety Association, or the NHTSA, is granting a driverless car exemption for Amazon's Zoox unit. So good look here for AMZN. Positive news for Zoox. Let's take a look here at UBER. It didn't move that much on this. Okay, now it's moving a bit lower. Initially, it hadn't moved much, but Uber, day one earnings, and now dealing with the fact that Amazon's Zoox is getting a driverless car exemption from the NHTSA. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. Yep, just continuing to watch CPOP over here. The seller at 18, still preventing us from ascending. Let's see if we can work up into the low 20s. Look at all that selling at 18s with barely anything being taken off the gateways. Look at that, nothing coming off the gateways, but there's a whole lot of chop and churn on the left side of your screen, the time and sales. So what that tells me is another hidden seller, an iceberg order at every single level. So unless we can get some parabolic moves to the high side, this hidden seller is putting a damper on everyone's long party over here. So we'll watch as CPOP continues to dance above $2, about 80% give or take in the clear right now. Yeah, it does feel like a trap, Martin. I got to tell you, sometimes you just get these bad feelings, but you don't really have the actual evidence to support it. But yeah, there you go. It's a trap. So we'll see exactly what we get over here. The nice thing is if you have levels like VWAP, 10 EMA that you say, I'm right above this level, I'm wrong below this level, it kind of helps you just, resolve the issue in your mind. That way you're not chasing it and trading crazy. So that is what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm keeping my eye on. CPOP, very consolidative sideways right now, but we'll see what we get on this one. Joseph, so
yes, sir. Popping
on to that. Let's go back now to GNS, because this one's having a whole lot of trouble breaching that $0.25. I posted at $0.25. It's got some higher lows, but not exactly rocketing up either. So we'll keep tabs on that one as well. All right, now let's see. We're showing 20s here on CPOP. I think we momentarily showed 21s. There again is the hidden selling at the 20 penny level. So every single level has got a whole bunch of short selling on it right now. So the short sellers want to take control of CPOP. It feels like here at the 2/5 of a dollar, or the 1/5 of a dollar, we'll see who ends up winning out this battle. But going back to GNS, what I was trying to say about this one is that you still have higher lows, and you seem to have a lot of support at the 20 exponential. So you have higher lows off that 20, but not exactly giving you that parabolic move into the high side. Smart as well has been very kind of sideways. It does feel like it's also putting in higher lows with area trough, and another area trough over here. We'll see if this one wants to pop into 18s. We've been waiting for a while for that one, Joey, but it hasn't been giving us said fill. Back to CPOP as that 20 seller, boom, he gets taken out. Sorry, Joe. Into 24s. Now, can we shake that seller at 24s? Into 25s we go. Huge selling at 25s over here. Let's see if we can take out that 25 seller. Go, CPOP. Let's go. Come on, CPOP. You can do it, baby. Let's go. Take out those sellers, CPOP. CPOP, you disappointed me again. All right, so selling again at the $0.25 over here. We got big boy selling into that 30 penny area, and we have basically all day. If we do get a price spike up, we should be able to get some nice fills there as I have layered the orders into the level. Let's go ahead and post as well at 29s and see if we can get something up there. Joseph Wilson, let's see what this one does.
Yes, sir. Make it make sense. Thank you very much. Funny stuff, man. You guys crack me up. TQs, we're still sitting in this. What else do we want to look out through the rest of the day? We'll run our scan right now in the middle of the session, just for giggles, right? Issuing giggles and retrieving data. Okay, so top volume names on this session: AMD with 94.6 million shares, TSLL with 83.5, NVDA with 79.6, SMCI with 73 million, SOXL with 70 million, the SQs with 70 million, and Apple sitting in that 7th place there with 58.4 million shares traded. And these are stocks that are all valued over $20, just for your information, right? So it's not the highest volume stocks. I'm sure there's some in the realm of Sharif's style of trading that have put in a significant amount more of shares just because of the value of them,
yeah.
Right? So,
well said.
yeah. So that's what we got going on. I can't believe what Amazon is doing here.
What is it
going to
doing?
run into $220. Let's actually take a look at this from a daily standpoint. Because I think it's really important to know. I don't.
They reported today, by the way. We're going to get to that on the news in a hot second. But
when was the last time you had it? I asked you.
Mickey Dix?
Yeah. Long time ago.
Don't even remember.
Yeah, don't even remember.
I used to smash every now and again a McFlurry.
Yeah.
But that's those days are done as well.
Blizzard or McFlurry?
No, McFlurry with Oreo.
Yeah, but I'm saying which one do you like more, Blizzard or McFlurry?
Oh, I don't even remember the last time I had a Blizzard. You're talking about Dairy Queen?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't even remember,
You
Joey.
don't remember that one? Okay, guys, put it in the chat. Blizzard or McFlurry?
I think Blizzard wins probably.
Yeah, I'm Blizzard all day.
Are you?
Man, because you can put the score and the Reese's in there, right? So you can dual
Say
it
more.
up. Yeah, dual wheel that one there. But there it is, guys. So what we were looking for. What's up, Randy?
Saw Rivian? Tough look, as always. Lucid's worse, he said, if you can't hear him, which is definitely true. Neil, quickly, what was the headline, just so I can repeat it, on Lucid? Are they stopping the production of cars? What the hell is going on over there? Lowered projections
Supply
for
chain
next
issues.
year. Go ahead, Randy.
Lucid's got supply chain problems. They can't acquire some of the materials they need to build the cars they want to make. So if they're not, where am I? There I am. If they're not sitting on enough inventory and they can't make them because they don't have.
Get it, Katina, man.
Can't get the right camera.
Look at that.
There it is.
Hey, there we go.
If you can't get the materials to build and your suppliers can't get them to you, then what?
On my animation.
You can't half build a car. You know, you're missing a radio or you're missing a motor or something. So that's, you need secondary suppliers or alternate sources. They cost money. Yeah, I got gloves on. Lucid, they need to get that figured out.
Yeah.
What's going on in the back? We got the pipes.
We got electrical going on. We got painting going on. We got lunch going on right now. We're cutting pipes and
We have a candle of indecision here. I don't know what to do with this.
Where's the beef?
It's just too much selling at every.
And then we got some platforms out here, and there's stuff going on. This is what it is.
We love Randy, baby. We should probably get one of these mics over here, Randy, so he can come in maybe in the new setup so that we have our own mic and Randy can drop his midday rants as well, because I love them. Obviously, he's like the car guy. Anytime I have any decision-making, car-related things, I go to Randy immediately. He's the guy I talk to, and he's always got very sound advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just about, finances when it comes to cars, but like mechanical.
Quality of the mechanics and the quality of the vehicles, what's going on, the fundamentals, and obviously some of the supply chain. So let's talk about this. We know that your car's gone.
It's gone.
You were thinking about the Cybe. The Cybe is now off the table.
No, but you and I have already talked. Yeah. So I'm gonna put it out there. I am going to remain carless. I am going to buy a house. I want to buy a house in the city, and if you know anything about Toronto, you know how insane the house prices are in Toronto. So I will be saving up all my money for the next couple of years, and then I'd like to weasel into a house not that far from here. I'm not going to say exactly the location I want to buy the house in, but that's what I'm going to be looking to do. And so, Joseph, I was, just going to put it out there. I was spending about maybe a little bit below $3,000 a month on the car. Okay, so we'll be putting all of that money now into the market, into savings, and hopefully, by the end of 26, maybe early 27, we'll have something with a garage. Nice. Because I'd be very excited to do that, because I'm done with my condo.
So you're okay with being carless for the foreseeable future?
I'm not okay with it, but there's
sacrifice, right?
Exactly.
You got to sacrifice.
Yeah, I'd love to have a car, bro. I want to pull up a Cybe right now, immediately.
Yeah.
But that's not what's going to happen.
Even cheaper alternative, like a little cheap car, a little 0.8.
I'm just going to go all in. I'm going all in.
I like it. I like it. If you're going to do it, you may as well do it right. So there it is.
Give us a good Zadara.
Keep an eye here in VUZI. Vuzix receiving apparently a six-figure smart glasses follow-on order from LogisView to support Fortune 100 retail customer deployment. So good look here for VUZI. Apparently receiving a six-figure follow-on order for its smart glasses. I did get the 10-year auction as well, literally just coming through as I'm speaking. If I can get my chart set up, that's my bad. There we go, QQQ. So here's the Nasdaq, guys. The 10-year note auction high yield coming at 4.255%. I never saw what it was. I never saw this pop up for what it was right before the auction. Usually it does, but 4.255% year, 10-year note auction, high yield. Back to you.
I just wait till the lows broke.
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to do. Like, and to me, this is bull flagging, but it's just so much bamboozlement and a lot of selling.
Is that CPOP? Let me pull it up here.
Yeah. So I kind of, I'm at a crossroads about how I want to trade CPOP. It's coming down into that area again. We've got 15s on, having scalped up some into the $0.25, but it's holding the 10, it's holding 2. It's not giving me a technical reason to get out of the trade. I don't know if it's just, impatience on my part or having seen this one revert before. Not really sure, but this is a bull flag from what I'm seeing right now. But I don't feel great about it. I feel some kind of way. So we're going to continue to pack our patience. We're a penny out of the money at the moment, having scalped up a little bit. But yeah, this is a bamboozling one. I want to start the news too. Yeah, that's the thing. Another good point. Another really good point. Joseph showing me higher lows on that chart. But with CPOP, it can flip the script on you in a quick second there. So here's what I'm going to do, Joey. I'm going to leave this order active that I have as a dip trade to defend to, okay? Which I know is for, let me see how many shares that is so that I can work that in. So that's waiting at 203 on CPOP for how many? Allow me a second here, guys. There we go. Good. So now I know I'll get out of this one. If it loses, I'm going to say if it loses to $2 is VWAP, so I'll have to give it a little bit of room. Let's go into the low 190s, and we'll give it all the way down into there. Oh, it's already dropping quite aggressively. No, it's at VWAP right now. So let's go ahead and post for that many shares. There we go. And come what may now. So we have 12. So if it loses that 90 area, it loses it. That's all good. And we'll post here at 15. And we'll also post, wow, there you go. So just dropped quick as you like. So yeah, the feeling was right. We ended up going negatory on the day because of this. We had actually built in quite a decent position, but there is drops aggressively. So the short sellers end up winning, and it is going to halt down, Joseph, at $1.71. Big drop down on CPOP. You suck, CPOP. Crapper.
Hell,
Limit down. There it is. So let's start the news now that trade is done. Let's weasel into this. Just give me a moment over here to load this up and get ready. We're going to start with AMD, everybody's favorite stock on the day. For the short sellers, that is down 6.82%. Oh, baby. Talk about why they're down, even though there was decent report. So their EPS did miss. So that bottom line number, their earnings per share, was a slight miss. They printed 48, the street wanted 49, okay? The revenue beat nicely, though, $7.69 billion versus the 7.42 expected. In addition to beating that top line number expected by the street, they also increased revenue 32% year over year. And their guidance was above street's estimate. So their Q3 revenue guidance, they're guiding $8.7 billion plus or minus $300 million. Again, that's above the $8.3 billion that the street was expecting. So whatever the range is, it's still ahead. It can be 8.4 or 9 billion, right? Plus or minus 300. Let's talk about their AI segment, their data center revenue, because this is I want to submit to you guys, probably the only reason they're down. So their AI revenue declined year over year. And what they're saying the reason for that is not because demand was drying up, but because of the U.S. export restrictions, specifically on their China-made chip. Not China-made, China-specific chip, I should say. MI308, that's the one that they were talking about. They had about an $800 million impact in Q2. AMD also expects no China-based revenue in Q3, and the reason for that is the export license for the MI308 is still pending, despite the fact that the H20 is allowed to go out. So obviously they're not the same chip, so they have to be audited individually, but that's the problem. Adjusted gross margins were 43%. They would have been 54% if there were no export controls. Adara has breaking news.
That involves Sarepta Therapeutics. So this company popping a little bit here. Stat News, which is like a health and science-based news source, reporting that Sarepta actually hired a Trump-connected firm to lobby on their Duchenne treatment. In case you guys missed it, there is a lot of controversy involving their Duchenne treatment due to, I guess, some reports that it has led to loss of life, or at least people who've taken it and have lost their lives. Keep an eye here on SRPT. Back to you.
On, so the AI chip that they're actually launching next is something called the MI400. So if you're looking at NVIDIA's chips and making comps, this would be like the successor to the G200, which is the G300. That's coming out in 26. So that's the MI400 equivalent G300. The GB200, which is the Blackwell chip, their equivalent for that is the MI350. And that's good for both training and inference, which is the same thing with the Blackwell chip. Remember, NVIDIA's Hopper chip was known very good for training, but not really that good for inference, which is really the big deal now, right? So it's nice to see that they're really focusing their next-gen chips on both training and inference, AMD and NVIDIA, that is. Let's talk about their data center strength. That saw 14% year-over-year bump to about $3.2 billion in revenue. That was driven by GPU and CPU demand. And cloud CapEx is fueling both GPU and CPU infrastructure growth. And their competitive gain versus Intel. We've obviously seen how they've outdone Intel as of late, a much larger market cap now than Intel. Their gaming revenue, which no one really seems to care about these days, jumped nicely, 73% year over year, up to $1.1 billion. The street was only looking for $784 million on that, so they absolutely decimated expectations. Their desktop and their laptop segment also did well. $2.5 billion on that, a 57% bump year over year. They're saying that was largely driven by demand for the Ryzen Z5 chips, and total client and gaming revenue combined, Joey, comes in at $3.6 billion, up 69% year over year there. Not bad look.
We talked about it before, right? The street isn't looking for an increase in gaming revenue and PCs. That's not necessarily the case. But I mean, think about it. So gross margins dropped to 43% from 53% last year, but that's mainly due to the write-down. But without it, AMD would have delivered a robust 54% margin. So I don't know if you touched on that, but that's really something.
Didn't.
Yeah, so
that's actually a good point.
Right. Yeah. So that's a good look. It's kind of what happened with NVIDIA and the H20. Now that that's back on the table, market prices it back in. But just from a technical standpoint, this is what happens when you have something priced to perfection, and then essentially you don't deliver and beat, right? Surprise, the street loves surprise. There's nothing really surprising about AMD. Yeah, absolutely. That's a beautiful candle right there, right? Potentially close as a hammer. You fill a gap in a couple of days.
Into that bad boy
exactly,
too.
Right? And you fill the gap into a couple of days. This is what we're referring to here. Sharif's pointing at this level being held, and then, hey, you close as a hammer and you continue to climb higher. But again, with everything going on with China and the chip restrictions, if that happens to go back on the table for AMD, maybe you get a nice continued bounce in this name here.
All right, Adara, what are you thinking about these AMD earnings here? Silver linings here, maybe with the China reason for the decline in revenue, and that might be a headwind that's gone.
Yeah, I think really quickly as well with regards to AI, I do have a bit of news as well that just came out. OpenAI saying they're going to have a live stream tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, so it'll be about 1 p.m. Eastern. Around this time, that could be interesting because Sam Altman's been really teasing an update all week. Yeah, I think with regards to AMD, it's kind of hard. I think they're viewed a lot of times as NVIDIA's little brother or little sister or little cousin. Shout out to Lisa and Jensen. So I think the fact that we had that miss here on earnings per share is not great. But I do think the fact that we could eventually, hopefully, get some kind of update on the China sales, that'd be a great look for AMD. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, the issue now is not that the administration is not approving these sales. The issue is that apparently, I was seeing some reports that the Commerce Department literally has not been processing these applications. So even though companies like NVIDIA and AMD are trying to get that approval to sell to the U.S., to sell to China, and the administration's okay with it, they just can't get the go-ahead from the Department of Commerce. So I think once that happens, that hopefully could help turn things around for AMD regardless of product. And I say that because they did take that $800 million hit, which impacted their margin as well. It impacted their gross margin by about 9%, which is really significant. So, I mean, with regards to margins, we were talking about this off camera. NVIDIA is always going to be a little bit of a unicorn in that regard. Their margins are just so strong. But I think anything that can help AMD with regards to margins is a good look. I think that getting updates on China pronto is really what this company needs.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. All right, we're going to go on to SMCI next. Sorry, it's really hard to hear Adara, so we're not able to engage with her. Sorry, Adara, I basically heard nothing of what you said. It's not your fault. I can't hear you, and the Streamlabs is not working, and the boys are talking, so I can't hear you. So we're going to talk about SMCI next here. EPS, fantastic. I can hear you. Yeah, that's a lot better. Thank you for that. So that's awesome. So next time you're talking to Darryl, we'll be able to hear you. Let's go SMCI. EPS, guys, missing expectations. 41 pennies, the street wanted 45, and it's also down markedly year over year from the 63 pennies per share they printed last year on the quarter. On revenue of $5.8 billion, again, well below. That's a $200 million miss there for the street's expectations that they were looking for $6 billion there. Margins also dropped below expectations. 9.6% was gross margins. The street wanted 10, and the stock fell markedly here, 21% and change right now at around 115. Let's talk about their guidance. So their fiscal Q1 2026 guidance also missed expectations. The full year 2026 revenue, guys, that was kind of the silver lining. They raised that from the prior expectations of around 20 billion up to 33 billion there. And the growth really here implies a heavier ramp in the second half of full year 2026. So even though they're guiding higher for 26, don't expect that in the first half of the year. They're saying they're really going to be able to ramp up from month 6 onwards. And now let's talk about their issues that they've had with supply chain and the execution constraints. CEO said working capital constraints limited their production ramp up. We know that they raised $2.3 billion back in June, Joey, via convertible note offer, after raising $700 million, in February. So to date, they've raised $3 billion, $2.3 billion June, $700 million in February. So they've got $3 billion extra on the balance sheet there. It should be ramping up. I need more. Tell me what the hell is going on. Let's talk about their pricing pressure as well. They're riding the AI boom. Obviously, everybody is. But now they're facing price competition from rivals like Dell and HPQ. In fact, they're saying that their AI server component prices have actually dropped 110% year over year. How's that even possible? So we're going to have to keep watch on the margin compression, the pricing pressure experienced in the AI server business. We're not quite seeing it yet, Joseph, in the AI chip space. In fact, AMD increased the price of their MI300 from $10,000 to 25,000. So we're certainly not seeing it there. We're seeing it in the server business. Very interesting to note. Last but not least here, Joseph, this I definitely don't like. 2 of their customers account for 64% of their accounts receivable. That's as of March, which is obviously a very high concentration risk. And Joseph, there's issues with self-dealing here. Your boy, Charles Liang, the CEO, his brother's firm is doing business with SMCI. Not saying that it ain't kosher, but I'm just saying something to be, watching out for.
No conflict of interest there whatsoever.
Not saying it. I'm just saying something to watch out for.
Absolutely. Just from a technical standpoint, guys, we know with SMCI it had trouble reporting. It was delayed on multiple occasions. And then sure enough, here you go, not this report, this is in the past, but sure enough, here you go, you get a massive gap down. And look at the price action from late 2024. You've kind of just been stuck within this range. The space, I'm not going to say it's crowded, but you have some heavy hitters already in it. For SMCI to catch up and gain any form of market share, I don't know if they have the ability or the capacity to do so. So for me personally, SMCI in the semi space is a no-go for me, Sharif.
Darryl, how'd you feel about the report? I mean, aside from raising full year 2026 revenue guidance by a substantial amount, it looks like they raised it by about $13 billion. There wasn't really a whole lot good in this report. Tell us.
Yeah, I was going to check here because I was actually seeing I want to just check what I was seeing here for the revenue guide. But yeah, I mean, the report in general, Charles Liang is an interesting individual. He has sometimes, said or guided things. He's also one of those CEOs that does have a tendency to try to, big up the stock on social media, which is something I'm never necessarily going to be a huge fan of. So I don't know about that. I need to look more into that revenue sharing thing. Yeah, so I just checked. They actually lowered their fiscal 2026 sales guide. For the year.
They didn't. So it's $20 billion was the prior expectation, and they've raised it to $33 billion.
Okay,
and then
I was seeing they lowered it, but
that they're actually going to receive most of that revenue in the second half of 2026 as opposed to the first half.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good look for the company. Then Ben Zinger has misreported that, so that's interesting. But that's why I was confused. But yeah, I mean, I think like the guidance for this quarter, regardless, pretty mixed. EPS especially is not going to be good. Like if you're not making money, if you're not actually having like take-home profit, that's a bit sketchy. I think the other thing too with SMCI is like, again, now that you have these issues with Charles Liang's brother, which you kind of want to look more into, this company can just not get over these concerns with governance. Like they finally got over their auditing issues. They're reporting earnings. That's awesome. But if they keep having more issues pop up out of nowhere, I don't think it's a good look for the company long term. So they should probably deal with that and maybe be like, hey, stop doing these weird dealings with Charles Liang's brother. I don't like it. If I was an investor, I would really not like it.
Okay, so I'm just going to highlight this point while we got you. So CEO Charles Liang highlighted a growing demand. Looking ahead, Supermicro guided Q1 full year 2026. This is for Q1 only, 6 to 7 billion and non-GAAP of 40 to 52 pennies, with full year 2026 revenue expected to reach at least 33 billion, implying a 50% annual growth. So I don't know what they were guiding before, but that's what Seeking Alpha. Let me know what you see there, Derek, just so that we have everything kosher and we can report on the right things. I do appreciate you bringing that up. If I'm wrong, just make sure we'll correct that. All right, let's go on to Shopify next over here. Q2 revenue on Shopify rose very nicely, 31% year over year, baby, up to 2.68 billion, beating last year's 2.04 billion, with gross profit jumping up to 1.302 billion, up from the 1.045 that they had printed last year, really showing healthy margin expansion, with operating income climbing up $291 million now, up from the 241 again. So all the comps there, not a bad look, and neither is the free cash flow margins, which improved, Joseph, to 422 million, up from the 333. Another box to check there. And operating expenses are going to stay very, very flat, between 38 to 39% of their Q3 revenue. Now let's talk about the guide. What are they guiding for the next quarter? That's Q3 for this year, forecasting mid to high 20% revenue growth in Q3, with gross profit expected to grow in the low 20% rate. And stock-based compensation, though, that's going to take a bit of money out of that top line number, or the bottom line number, excuse me. $130 million, Joseph, they've earmarked for stock-based compensation. That's stock that they pay to their employees. And then they did quite well, it seems like, in Europe. They did okay in North America, not too bad in Asia Pacific, but they say Europe was a standout growth driver. Joseph, Shopify, not a bad look.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just reading something here. So subscription solutions revenue, 656 million, up from 563 last year. Merchant solutions revenue, 2 billion, up from 1.48 billion year over year. So that's some solid numbers. You just mentioned the geographic standpoint. Reported accelerated, what is that, GMV? It is gross merchant volume. That increased quarter over quarter in North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific, as you just mentioned as well, too. And you can see it reflected in the stock price right here, Sharif. So a massive gap up, some solid growth across the platform, and subscriptions are up as well, too. So there's a lot going on for Shopify. It looks really good. Do you want to get it all the way up here? Not necessarily. Wait for a pullback. But other than that, when you see a company growing like this, I like Shopify.
Is that all-time highs?
I believe so.
Flip to the weekly on that bad boy? Because remember, we were super lofty.
Oh, not quite.
We're close.
No,
we're real close, man.
But the thing is, though, Sharif, I like that you pointed that out, is because if you're on this trajectory, I think that it's only a matter of time until they believe that the value is the all-time high, and then it'll surpass that.
Absolutely. I remember that one during COVID. That was pre-split. It was a 4-digit number. Adara.
Oh, one more thing here. So Shopify, did you mention the new AI product developer tools?
No.
To enable product searches and checkout inside AI chatbots, including integration with Microsoft Copilot.
Right. I was like, why did he emphasize that one so hard? All right, Adara, give us the goods here on Shop. What's your look?
I mean, my look is did not do much intraday. I mean, you popped right off the open, but if you didn't buy right off the open, it's kind of doing nothing. Honestly, like this could be a day two play from an intraday trading perspective. if you get that 156, but this is spready and not even like in a fun way or a readable way. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens there. Yeah, I think what's interesting too is the tariff guidance. It's interesting that they thought tariffs would impact them just because of the kind of goods they do anyway,
Well
like
said.
because everyone has their own sales or their own stores. I was kind of confused by the fact they even provided tariff-related guidance in the first place. But what's interesting too is they said the demand has remained exactly the same. Like no one's buying it ahead of tariffs and no one's, trying to delay because of tariffs. So that being said, tariffs did not really come into effect proper until August 1st. So I wonder what's going to happen for them next quarter now.
And here's the deal. I don't know I have the exact number, but Brenda was telling me something this morning around like the de minimis rule, that $800, sub $800 rule that kind of hurt Temu and Shein. Apparently didn't hurt them that much, and they were saying that only about 10% or a little bit less than all their the products sold off their network actually came in under that rule. Did you have that under the tariffs or no?
That's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of shocking that's, like, how much are people selling on Shopify that was not happening? Like, what are these products on Shopify? I'm shook. I know, like, you see sometimes the ads on YouTube and a lot of times, like, designer purses or whatever. Maybe they're selling a lot of designer purses. That's bizarre that they're not taking a de minimis hit. And it makes me kind of want to look more into the business because I'm like, I don't really know how that's possible.
That's exactly what I thought. I figured they would definitely have more of a hit from that, but we'll have to wait and see. Time will.
Have you ever used Shopify?
I think I have, not personally, but I how they basically host other people's websites, right?
Yeah.
So I bought and stuff off these third-party websites that probably were using Shopify.
The drop shipping.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Let's go on to talk about Disney's Q3 earnings. This was a good report. Where's Diz at right now? Let's find out. Are we up or down? Are we sideways? Show yourself, Disney, you piece of, 1 second here. Load. We're down 2.87%. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about this. So EPS easily beat 161. The street wanted 147. Profitability check on revenue of 23.65 billion. That missed slightly. The street wanted a bit more at 23.73 billion. Net income, though, that more than doubled year over year, up to a bit more than $5.25 billion in take-home money. Compare that to last year when they took about 2.62 home. Fantastic look there with that top line number. Revenue growing 2%, marking Disney's first revenue miss, sadly, since May of 2024. That's not too bad, Joey. We'll talk about why maybe in a second. Full year revenue 2025 guidance, they did raise that to $5.85 in earnings EPS, up from the $5.75 they previously guided. That implies an 18% growth number. And it's really kind of showing confidence in the cost controls that they've been employing, especially on a segment performance basis. And you got to like that. Shout out to Big Bobby Iger. Hey, Bob. All right, so now let's talk about their different streaming segments. So their direct-to-consumer revenue, DTC, that grew 6% year over year, up to $6.1 billion. Disney Plus added 1.8 million subs. Now it got about 128 million subscribers worldwide, Joey, with Hulu adding 1% subs up to 55.5 million now. They do expect, though, a combined subscriptions increase in Q3, in Q4, relative to Q3 of around 10 million. So they're looking to grow. There's also a lot more news that's not earnings related when we're talking about ESPN here, because they're going to launch a full service streaming app that launches August 21st. It's going to include WWE live events. So we're talking about the WrestleManias, the SummerSlams, etc. So there's that look. Now let's talk about their theme park experience. That experience segment grow 8% year over year, up to $9.09 billion, and domestic theme parks grew 10% year over year, up to $6.4 billion. But that's not all good news. The linear TV here continues to be a drag on earnings. That dropped 15% year over year in terms of that top line number, now down to $2.27 billion. We're talking about cable, basically, okay? And their ad revenue on cable also remains weak due to lower viewership and rates. So the price per minute, or whatever the standard is there, keeps dropping and dropping as demand for TV commercials drops off more. ESPN domestic revenue, Joseph, grew 1%, up to a little bit less than $4 billion. And the NFL is taking a 10% stake in ESPN, and they're also going to have ESPN games, obviously, or NFL games on ESPN. So what I was telling Neil off camera this morning, I don't want to say it's a security blanket, but it's nice to know that the league is taking an ownership interest in ESPN. Well, to be fair, too, ESPN is buying out NFL Network. They're taking it on into their domain of channels.
I think it's going to stay number 77? Channel 77?
I don't think they even care about us over here, Joey. We're like a small demographic. Yeah, good point.
No, but in all seriousness, Sharif, so we mentioned here before that the domestic ESPN operating income declined 7% due to higher programming and production costs. This is what I'm getting at. These NBA and these sports contracts cost a whole lot of money, and you're seeing that reflected. Remember the proxy war between, it's Bob Iger, right, and Nelson Peltz? That was not good. He ended up bowing out, got everything out of Disney, and that was somewhere around this realm where I believe we gapped down here, or something around here. It was a while ago, that proxy war between those two. He got out of that. Now, there's 4 big ones right here. There's 4 big ones. There's 4 big ones here. We have Apple TV, we have Amazon Prime, we have Netflix, and we have Disney starting to gain some market share in the space as well, too, with Hulu gaining a lot of subscriptions, or projected to gain a lot of subscriptions leading into Q3. So that's a positive outlook on that.
Oh, man, there's so many haters. All right, Adara, what's the goods there? I know Neil's up there and he's disrupting you, but everything's fine. You can weasel in. Tell us what the look is.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I think with regards to DIS, I'm going to talk about one aspect of this that maybe people aren't thinking about as much, and that's the Trump-related headwinds. Now, you might be like, Disney, Trump-related headwinds, what do you mean? Well, there's an individual in charge of the FCC right now, appointed by Trump, named Brendan Carr, and he has made it very clear that his entire goal with the FCC is to basically just do what Trump would like him and the FCC to do, especially with regards to DEI, which we know is a huge thing they have issues with. And not to be political, but this actually does impact Disney because as of late March, Brendan Carr and the FCC announced they're going after Disney. They are investigating Disney with regards to its DEI policies, though even by that point, they had already kind of announced Disney that they were rolling back a lot of these policies, or you could find evidence through their content or their websites that they had rolled things back. I looked for any kind of update since late March, March 28th or 29th, I couldn't find anything. So to my knowledge, this is still active. We know that there have been some ways the FCC and this kind of regime, for lack of better terms, have impacted TV and TV content. We know Stephen Colbert getting fired. So I think with regards to ABC, which is the Disney side of things, this could actually get really spicy. I'm not trying to be political at all, but
why not? I mean, there's an overlap here, so you're good.
100%. I think it's really fair to mention, and I think that I always like to take a slightly different take on these things. But I think with that in mind, Disney could be in some trouble because we know that these networks, especially with regards to, and to get more into this, the Paramount and Skydance merger, they basically had to give Trump and the administration what they wanted with regards to 60 Minutes. And because they did that, they could get their merger approved. So with that in mind, what is little carrot they're going to dangle in front of Mickey Mouse? I want to know. But I think either way, this could get really interesting going forward.
No, I love that take. That's a fantastic take. Thank you for that. That's actually a really good point there, because we saw exactly what happened with that whole deal with Sherry Redstone and company. Great take there, Dara. Let's go on to Rivian. Okay, so Rivian, oh boy. Q2 net loss, Joey, of 88 cents per share, but that was better than the negative 65 that the street was looking for there. They also narrowed their loss per share last year on the quarter. They printed a $1.21 loss per share, and they beat expectations here easily by 88%. So they were able to shore up cost. It's a 23.08% earnings surprise, and Rivian, that is, has had consistent beats now on EPS for 4 straight quarters. That doesn't mean that their revenue is growing. That just means they're shoring up costs a little bit better. How is that revenue number you're asking, Joey? $1.3 billion in revenue, topping the $1.16 expected by the street, growing 19.3% year over year, really driven by continued vehicle production growth. And now Rivian has beat revenue estimates for 3 straight quarters, so not a bad look, but not as good as their EPS beat there. Let's talk about their guidance and what they're saying with respect to financials going into the future. They're mixed here. So consensus EPS for the next quarter is going to be about negative 71 pennies on revenue of $1.39 billion and full year EPS of negative 245 on revenue of $5.23 billion, Joey. So it doesn't matter. You're still bleeding money.
Yep.
And they still don't have that needle-moving R2, R1, R2S, R2T, right? So that more people can afford them. Because let's just call a spade a spade.
They're expensive.
What percentage of the Canadian population do you think can comfortably afford an R1S brand new?
Less than 1%.
There you go. So, yeah, it's going to be something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any takes?
Yeah, absolutely. So we remember the Volkswagen investment. So Rivian received a $1 billion equity investment from Volkswagen Group in the quarter, the first part of a larger $5.8 billion joint venture which will support the future technology and platform development. So as for expansion, announced new offices in the UK and East Coast, HQ in Atlanta, as well as ongoing expansion of manufacturing capacity. So Rivian, from a technical standpoint, I do like the Volkswagen investment. I think that's a positive, you're headed in the right direction from that standpoint. But just from a technical perspective, we know what's going on. Like, Elon Musk has the most popular vehicle on the planet. The Model Y is in North America, I should say, right? So in the EV space, will Rivian fall into the realm of the GMs and the Fords and just moving sideways and not really gain any value whatsoever than what it's currently trading at? I think it's been a repeat offender. Look what the range it's been trading in for an extended period of time. For me, I just think the car space is too tough of an investment and too tough of a space to be involved in and to invest in the long term. So that's why I say Tesla's always the most forward-looking stock, because we know the car business is an extremely tough business. Absolutely. If you're going to be the best at what you do and you still struggle and you still lose share across the globe in the likes of the UK with Tesla losing it to BYD, what do you think is going to happen to a lower-end company like Rivian who has highly expensive cars?
Exactly, and as well, they can't make them in enough volume, right? Like, they're trying to grow.
Is there even enough demand for them to make
not for these currently priced cars? But again, there's the R2, there's the R3. Adara, what's your look here on Rivian? What's the take?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think, yikes. And I even said to Neil this morning, I put Rivian and Lucid on the same place in the watch list, A, to save up real estate, but B, because as I put it to Neil, they kind of belong together. They deserve each other. Like, they both are just really struggling. And, you know, as Joe said, there can only, I guess, be one winner in the EV space. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think there can be multiple, but I think definitely if something is not working time and time again, maybe switch up your playbook a little bit, right? Like, that's true with trading. I think that should be true with companies as well, especially one that is struggling as much as Rivian is as of late. I know Elon Musk even suggested, hey, RJ, maybe just sleep in the factory like I did with Tesla. I don't know if that's the solution. There's like a middle ground somewhere. But either way, I think, you know, I like RJ Scaringe. I like the guy, but something is clearly going wrong here. And you need to sort it out a bit. That being said, I do like the Rivian vehicles. And I just have these cute little guys. They look like the cars from Cars, like the movies. And I actually saw a couple in Winnipeg as well. So Rivian, Winnipeggers are apparently buying Rivians, because I saw at least two while I was there, and I've seen maybe one in the entirety of my time in Toronto. So get it, Rivian, I guess.
Get it, Rivian. Look, I love the cars. I mean, the cars are fantastic cars. There was really never a question about the cars. I think that they're elite level cars. And Adara, they don't cut costs. They make like a lot of stuff in-house, and they make it to a very high standard, which is why they cost so damn much. So it's okay. I guess we'll have to wait and see whether they're able to weasel a better price. Thank you for that, Adara. Let's go on to Uber. All right, so Uber, not bad. Not a bad report at all. Earnings per share came in line. They printed 63 pennies, which were in line with estimates. Revenue came in at $12.65 billion, ahead of the $12.46 expected, and an 18% year-over-year increase on that top line number, with net income, that take-home money, coming in higher than $1.33 billion, $1.36 billion, up from the $1.02 billion that they printed last year. And people forget that this company only became profitable last year in 24, okay? So now they're printing $1 billion change in profit on the quarter. That's a great look. I mean, but the price is, the stock price, has reflected that. So to be expected. Adjusted EBITDA came in at $12.12 billion. Joey, tell them exactly what's going on before we get to their different segments there.
Absolutely. New traders, listen up. First month free. That's right. We're waiving fees Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite, analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data. Global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now.
All right, guys. So their mobility gross bookings grew nicely. Not as strong as their delivery, and that I've been noticing that I think for a couple of quarters now. Delivery's been growing faster than mobility. So mobility gross bookings up to 23.76. So that top line number still larger than their delivery, but it only grew 18% year over year. Delivery came in at 21.73, but grew 20% year over year. For whatever reason, they're not reporting their freight data anymore. So you used to get 3 different data points: mobility, delivery, and freight. I'm not seeing freight in the reports anymore. They have the same thing that they do. It's like an auction system for freight. Anyway, total gross bookings, $46.8 billion, up 17% year over year. The company really highlighting here that continued strength in both the ride-hailing and food delivery. Let's talk about their user growth as well as engagement. Their monthly active platform consumers, 180 million, that's up 15% year over year, with the total trips, Joseph, 3.3 billion total trips, up 18% year over year. And they're also putting money back in your pocket vis-a-vis a $20 billion share buyback program, which is obviously, going to be a supporting catalyst here for the shares in the near term. You got 20 billion cash on hand. You're buying up your stock because you're not allowed to buy up anybody else's stock. Have a look at that. Little homework there for you guys. These companies can't buy each other's stocks. They can only buy their own. They can't even buy the index. They can't even buy the Qs or the SPY, whatever reason. Great accounting rules there, Joseph. Anyway, they are rolling out a new feature there for women and seniors. There's going to be a seniors account now with larger text, larger icons for easier access. And as Ram was super excited about the other day, they're testing a women-preferred driver matching in the U.S. to start for improved rider safety and comfort. And they're also emphasizing, Joey, family-oriented features to expand their user demographics. So not a bad look.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to touch on the senior accounts, enhanced features for accessibility. I think that's great. Obviously, the women's platform, the women's safety, adding into that app is a good thing as well, too. Uber, from a technical standpoint, I think it's still a pretty good buy here, Sharif, to be honest with you.
What's the TA right now on that bad boy?
Yeah, we're going to take a look. But that's the thing, right? So you have all this noise in here, but just look at it as that. You're starting to turn a profit. You mentioned that as well, too, Sharif. So last year they started to become profitable, and then now you're just continuously on this gradual incline. But the one thing that's really important is that the user base and the users across the platform are continuously increasing, and that's something that I'd be keeping an eye out on for Uber for sure.
All right, we'll give Adair some time to get back to the desk. We'll go on to Tesla. Interesting. I don't have much to say on this one, but yeah, there's a new FSD program coming out, and I don't have too much information other than what's written there. So Elon Musk says Tesla is training a new FSD model with, according to him, approximately 10 times more parameters. It promises to be big video compression improvements and larger model capacity, and they're targeting a public release by the end of next month, pending obviously successful testing. We know that they've rolled out robo-taxis in both Austin and San Fran, but according to California regulators, they still haven't gotten approval for California, so we're still waiting to hear more on that. I'm not going to really get into Tesla's earnings because it goes beyond the scope of this review, Joseph, but any comments here on the new FSD coming in here?
I mean, it's good, right? This is what we want to see. We want to see this continuously, more regulatory starting to apply, and then him starting to build his base across some of the cities that we already know that the likes of Waymo is in. So I think it's just it's a race to see who can grab as much market share, and then obviously you need the Department of Transportation to start backing Elon as well. We know that they also favor the LiDAR over Elon's camera system, which is fine. But at the end of the day, as for a production standpoint, Tesla has the edge there. It doesn't cost them $280K per vehicle in order to get something on the road, but I like that as a good look for Tesla.
Adara, any comment here on possibly a new FSD by next month? I think we should probably take that deadline, with, I don't want to say with a grain of salt, but I would never hold Elon to the deadline.
I was going to say with a grain of salt because I'm sorry, and I don't think that, it might be polarizing, but it really shouldn't be because it's factual. Elon has a very hard time with deadlines that he gives himself.
Yep.
I think, honestly, he'd be a lot better off, as I think with Tesla, if he just said, we're going to do this at some point. We were already supposed to have pretty heavy production of the cheaper vehicle,
exactly.
by now. And that never happened. We've not heard about that for over a year. And I think what happens is Elon will talk, the stock will pop, especially if he says it during earnings. And then, the market will kind of forget about it because Elon has probably forgotten about it. And I don't want to say that. I would like things to be nice for Tesla, but there is a noted discrepancy between the reality of the timelines in Tesla and what Elon says is the reality of timelines. I don't know if it's he wants this to be the timeline or if he legitimately believes it can be done. I actually think it might be a bit of both. But regardless, I think that's something you have to be aware of with TSLA. If there is a deadline, just trust that maybe it's not a thing. I even remember, too, he talked about the timeline there for these cheaper vehicles. Reuters reported they've actually scrapped it. And then he said, oh, they're lying. And then deleted the post, replaced it with Reuters is dying. And I'm like, but Elon, were they either way? Because
and Adara, he said that he's built a bunch of these, and apparently he started building them in June, and they're going to scale in the coming months. And we know people fly drones over the Tesla factory, so we would have seen pictures and pictures of those things. None have leaked. Where's the Model 2, Elon?
where's the FSD? We'll have to find out. But I know you posted your video of your FSD experience. You said that there were times where it was not perfect.
Yeah.
I've heard the same. I think the timing of this new FSD announcement as well, with the fact that we had this court case about the FSD, I think that could either...
Good point.
It's of interest. I'll just say it's of interest. I'm going to stop ranting now, but I think that, I don't know.
Thank you for that, Adara. Also, I want to point out as well that keep in mind that there is a hardware version that goes with the software for FSD. So every car that's released every year has a version of the hardware. So I think we're on version 4. We're on hardware 4 right now. And there's a lot of questions as to whether the future FSD is going to be compatible with previous versions of their hardware 3.0, 2.0. Elon made pronouncements in the past that future versions of FSD would be compatible with older hardware versions. We're going to have to wait and see whether that's accurate. But I just wanted to mention that because, if you're thinking about buying maybe the previous version of the Model Y to get, the future version of FSD, make sure you're checking which hardware version that is because it may not be compatible. So I just want to point that out. Another silver lining there for FSD. Let's talk about OpenAI. I know this is not tradable, but it really is the heart of AI right now, so we need to talk about it. Obviously, NVIDIA is the heart of AI, but this is the software heart of AI. Apparently, they're going to raise more money at a valuation now, Joseph, of $500 billion. This company doesn't even trade public. Anyway, they're in the early stages for a secondary sale of shares to the tune of valuation of $500 billion. The deal would involve current and former employee shares, not new equity, according to the company, and Thrive Capital may lead the round per sources familiar with the matter. In case you were wondering, did he just raise money? Yeah. He raised money back in March. He raised $40 billion at a valuation of $300 billion. And last week, they got another $8.3 billion tranche of that $40 billion. So it was coming in tranches there, and they just got $8.3 billion. We're going to pause for a second. Adara has news.
Keep an eye here in BMNR, Bitmine Immersion Technologies. I'm not seeing any news on this, but it just spiked. There's a lot of social media attention. We know this is the Ethereum treasury play that Tom Lee is involved with. So good luck here for BMNR. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. That one could be a day maker for you guys, so be careful with it. It could also blow you out of the water, so be very careful. Where does this trade? On the MX? Yeah. It's an MX stock, guys. .am for anybody trading on real trading right now. Let's go on and talk about their models. Apparently, there's what's it called? An open source model that's coming out now. So this week, OpenAI released two open weight language models, a euphemism for open source, the first that they've released since ChatGPT-2 back in 2019. Yeah, there was a GPT-2, and yes, this company did exist in 2019, although a lot of people didn't know about it. It's aimed at providing cost-effective, customizable tools for both developers and research. And Joseph, they now have 700 million weekly active users, showing explosive growth, with annual recurring revenue ARR expected to be $20 billion by year end, and that's up from $10 billion in June. What the hell is happening here, Joseph? I need answers. In terms of comps, if you're looking at other rivals who've raised money, Anthropic is in talks to raise $3 to $5 billion round at a $170 billion valuation, so not even worth half as much as OpenAI and ChatGPT. And the valuation jump from $61.5 billion in March was led by Iconic Capital, in case anybody was wondering.
I mean, it's the fastest growing platform ever. It's just that simple. And there's nothing that's ever came, I forget what came close to it, but it just blew everything out of the water. And I'm looking forward, hopefully it does go public one day. I don't know if it's going to have the ability to do so. But BMNR, guys, continuing to climb to the top side. I'm all out of my TQs short as well, too. Regarding that, Tom Lee, I was listening to him talk about BMNR. When he came onto the board, it was around $4. Now we're trading around $38 right now. So BMNR is looking really, really good. Bitmine immersion technology. He now has over, I think it's a couple $2 billion worth of Ether on the balance sheet. So that's looking really good. And then also just a substantial amount of Bitcoin as well, too. So BMNR is definitely the play. Ooh, maybe not. Wow, I didn't even know. Is there a split involved here?
No.
What the hell is that?
Yeah.
What the hell
Welcome
is
to small cap capital world.
What the hell is even that? That is crazy. I did not expect to see that. I thought we were just going to be consolidating. But this is where I think Tom Lee hopped on the board around here. Boom, boom, boom. And it just continues to climb. Just goes absolute nuts. And then sure enough, it sells off the majority of the gains that it gained. So 78%. You don't want to be buying into these candles. You want to be patient on that front. Love seeing what the Qs did just now as well, too. Guys, considering I just hopped out of it. No worries. Took a small loss on that one, but we still had the other trades on Bitcoin and on AMD shorts. But here it is. Well, I'm in on the middle of the range here, and I gave it just a little bit above the top end of that. Am I positioned well? No, you obviously want to get in at the higher end, but middle I won't complain about. Liquidity grab, sure enough, top wick, and then now we're continuing to climb lower. So yeah, it's unfortunate that happened out, but we just take a paper cut on that one, so we won't complain about it whatsoever. Apple's starting to come back in as well, too, to the lower end of the support range. So if that breaks through that, maybe who knows what can happen. But the volume-weighted average price is sustained and is tracking the price relatively tight. So keep an eye on that. That pullback may not be as deep as you're anticipating. All right, considering how strong this stock is, you may get the liquidity grab through some zones, and then who knows what can happen considering there's still about 2 hours and 10 minutes left in the session. It can put in an additional leg higher. Things do seem slightly toppy. Bitcoin continuing to climb higher. ETHA, it's on the move. We like this one. Bitmine moving higher. Ether moving higher. Bitcoin moving higher. I like that space right now.
All right, Adira, any comment here on OpenAI and that $500 billion eye-watering valuation?
They keep, I don't know, OpenAI is a little wild here with the valuation. I think one thing I will say is they do have that, I guess, stream tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific or 10 a.m.
Okay.
10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So it will be covered here during the midday if I can join. I think that could be pretty interesting. We know Sam Altman's really been teasing throughout the week some new announcements. Sam Altman, of course, the CEO of OpenAI. So I think that plus this ongoing Microsoft OpenAI renegotiations with regards to what Microsoft is able to do should Sam Altman discover AGI. We know we've talked about that being a pretty big catch-22. So that, I think, is going to be super, super interesting, just as, I think, either a headwind or a tailwind for OpenAI going forward, depending on how that all sorts out. Because honestly, here's the thing, Sharif. If Mark Zuckerberg's crazy AI acquisitions work out, he actually might beat Sam Altman to AGI. That's a big might. That is a huge might.
Yeah.
But it is something that I think is worth considering.
But you know what, Adair, even if he beats him, and that's the thing, I remember what you and I were discussing. I don't think Altman is incentivized whatsoever to declare AGI for the reasons we discussed last time. So yeah, I think Zuckerberg's definitely got something there, and I wouldn't count Zuckerberg out. He's definitely, I don't call him the dark horse or anything, but he's definitely playing from behind because we've seen Anthropic, a little bit better, Perplexity, a little bit better. I don't know if you've had a chance to use Llama, Adara. It's not very good. Yeah, well, it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Adara. All right, let's go on to the Opendoor sales slide, despite the recent rally. So the shares rose almost 5 times since early July, Joey, fueled by retail and hedge fund interest. Despite the momentum, I think we're down over 20% here. The CEO, Kerry Wheeler, thanked investors for their enthusiasm and confirmed the team is listening to feedback. What the hell does that mean? I need answers. In case you're wondering what the hell is going on with Opendoor, in late June, it was trading at around 51 pennies, prompting, obviously, a proposed reverse split so they can regain compliance with the Nasdaq and trade above $1. But they did regain compliance, and they canceled the reverse split plan last week. And then we saw what happened to the stock. Now, they did report earnings after the bell. In case you're wondering what this company does, they do real estate, which we'll get to in a second. Q2 revenue came in at $1.57 billion, which was up 4% year over year. The net loss, they're still losing money, but they did narrow that down. They lost about $92 million last year. This time, they only lost about 29. So they are able to shore up costs. Still far from profitability, though, with revenue actually down 66% from the 2022 highs. Well, why is that? Well, everybody, was at home-ish. I know 2022 was probably the tail end of COVID for most people. It ended in mid-21, but yeah, so, a lot more real estate transactions were happening at that time. Also, with respect to guidance, they are guiding kind of weak here with Q2 revenue guiding here $800 million to $875. So that would already be a marked departure from the 1.57 they printed in Q2. That's a 36% drop year over year just for Q3. Home acquisitions are also expected to fall to about 1,200 units from the 1,757 they had last year on the quarter and 3,500 a year ago. Excuse me, not last year on the quarter, Q2. So this year, Q2, they had 1,757 home acquisitions because they flip homes, right? And then last year on the quarter, they had 3,500. So it feels like they're weaning that out. In fact, that's what the CFO said. They said that the housing demand is deteriorating and due to high mortgage rates and record new listings. So they're trying to shift away from that, and they plan to expand into referral-based services, moving away from what they call the capital-heavy home flipping business. The CEO called the company's most important strategic shift to date, Joseph. They're really basically changing up their business model. Is that a joke?
I don't know.
Is that a joke?
I have no idea,
crazy.
man. That is insane. I don't even know if that's actually the...
So IB shows you the demand on the short interest, Neil, and there's 100% demand according to this thing. Yeah, which I don't know if that's accurate.
I don't know how accurate that is, but if that's the case, that is insane. I mean, there it is, right? So this is when we start to become in play. You go up to a $5 move, and then now you're down approximately 60-70% from that level. So Opendoor, are we going to put it in the realm of meme stocks? I don't know. I don't think so personally. I don't know, Sharif, did you trade it at all? I never personally.
We took a couple of trades.
Did you take a couple of trades on that? Yeah. You took a couple of trades on that. Me personally, I never did, and I don't know how I feel about that.
What's up, Fabian?
Did you guys get 1,000 likes?
No, man.
I don't know, man.
I'm mad, man.
You're mad?
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, Joseph, Fabian will give Joseph his animation, but what Fabian has asked for, and I don't think it's too much of an ask, Fabian, we need 1,000 likes. You get 1,000 likes, your boy Joey Options over here, you put a smile on his face, he gets his animation, he hits that stream deck, and the Chilean Nightmare makes another banger. What's it called? Animation there. So get into the chat, guys. Really appreciate if you can hit that like button. Even if you don't like me, and I'm okay with that, like your boy Joey Options over here, and put a smile on his face. Adara, give us the goods here on Opendoor. Are you putting it in the long-term account or what?
Yeah, I'm going to pull your... door on Opendoor. I want to let you guys know about a big thing I think is worth noting for Opendoor.
Go.
A lot of this movement, including the start of this most recent rally, has been motivated by a man named Eric Jackson on X. Now, you might be like, who is Eric Jackson? Eric Jackson is this individual. He has his own firm, I guess, and he apparently has been long Opendoor since around the COVID era. If I remember correctly, I think like 2021, 2022. And so starting a couple weeks ago, when we started getting that pop back and open, he started pumping this thing really hard. This morning, he pumped it a couple times as well. The new CEO of Beyond, whose name is Marcus Lemonis, he posted on X that he'd be down for a collaboration between Beyond and Opendoor. And then Eric Jackson basically pumped that post out. He also apparently sent an unsolicited text to Sam Altman asking for an OpenAI and Opendoor collaboration. Keep in mind, Eric Jackson is not affiliated with the company. He's just a shareholder. So this is like the type of bullishness I haven't really encountered.
It's like Elliott Management, like, you know.
Yeah, it's nuts. So I think that is something worth noting. This man, for better or worse, is, I don't know if he's like motivating all the stock movement, but I think his role in terms of the bull culture around this, I don't think anyone should be sleeping on, because that could be significant. To be fair, I don't think Sam Altman's going to like call him back or anything, but I think it's interesting that he's willing to go this far for OPEN. And I think that, you know, even with that massive drop on earnings, it held that $1 level.
It did.
That could be significant as well. There is enough buying pressure that could potentially motor this thing. It lost $2 again just now, though.
All right, we'll have to keep an eye out to see whether they can maintain compliance. Joey, we're running short on time, a few minutes left, but should we do Novo Nordisk, Unity, or McDick's?
Oh, no, let's go McDonald's.
McDick's? Okay, let's go. McDonald's, earnings per share came in at $3.19 ahead of the $3.15 expected. Good look there. Revenue also beat $6.84 billion. Their street won at $6.7. So they beat there, and they pumped up the top line number 5% year over year. And that net income home, Joey, $2.25 billion in take-home money, up from the $2.02 they took home last year. The shares were up at least 3% in the pre-market. Don't know where they're at right now. Global same-store sales up 3.8%, the biggest jump they've had in nearly a 2-year period. However, U.S. stores also grew 2.5%, which reversed 2 consecutive quarters of decline. So it looks like, you know, maybe that Ozempic phase with everyone kind of fading these not healthy names, maybe that's done. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. The bounce back, according to the company, that is kind of attributed to promotions like the Minecraft meal, as well as the McCrispy chicken strip. So bringing back some old favorites there helped move the needle. But international sales continue to outperform. Especially international developmental license markets, like we're talking about the Chinas, the Japans, which actually saw a 5.6% same-store sales increase, with the international operating markets like UK, Canada, Australia, that's up 4% as well. Strong demand globally here for the core menu items like Big Mac and fries was quite good. And the prior headwinds that were really kind of putting this company down are apparently easing. The last quarter saw a drop in low and mid-income visits, pressuring U.S. sales. And the current quarter shows signs of recovery for U.S. traffic, likely driven by what they're calling value-focused marketing. And the CEO credited the success, Joey, to menu innovation and brand strength.
Bring back the pizza.
You remember that, huh?
Of course, I remember the pizza.
Did you collect the Monopoly stickers back in the day?
Yeah,
of course.
I made the full Inspector Gadget as well too. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I remember that.
Toy. So you would get one piece of the Inspector Gadget. I got that one.
That's interesting.
But in all seriousness, guys, we remember that they came out with the $10 meal deal just to boost revenue. Brick and mortar wasn't doing that good, to be honest with you. But for me, McDonald's technically doesn't look too horrible. You can see that we're gapping up and running into those previous all-time highs, right? So 326.46 is going to be that previous all-time high. And on this momentum, so you can see this consolidation, you break through those lows, and then sure enough, you're forming this channel. You've now broken the top end of that channel, and I think at some point you're going to run into this support level, which we're currently doing right now, and then the next stage is going to be at the higher end of that level. So keep that in mind. McDonald's for a potential breakout and the test of that previous all-time high there, guys.
Adair, are you going long McDonald's or what? Is it spready enough? Like, that's the question that we on.
It is spready enough. I've traded it before in earnings. It wasn't doing much for me this morning, so I just didn't look at it too much. But yeah, I think with MCD, this is kind of interesting. Longer term, I have this chart of this is like 2010 to 2024 annual revenue for McDonald's versus Starbucks. It's weird that Starbucks actually surpassed McDonald's revenue as of like 2017. So I think that's kind of interesting. MCD, maybe comparatively, if you look at it just these kind of food chains. It's interesting that the company that's items are more expensive is doing better than MCD. That being said, the fact that it beat on all these metrics with regards to same-store sales and regions, I find very impressive. It's a stock I'll be looking at for day 2 earnings because, I'm loving it. With regards to the spread. I will say that for MCD. I think also I want to know what these adult Happy Meals are. They're going to do Happy Meals for adults. I have lots of questions. It has nothing to do with the stock or really the company, but I just want to know.
What kind of toys are they going to give her those Happy Meals, bro?
Sharif.
I don't even want anyone to suggest anything in the chat. Don't put anything in the chat of what you guys think they're going to give as adult toys.
Considering it's modest growth there, how much of an effect
nobody's
do
getting
we
the
think?
joke here? Like,
yeah, I get that. We get that one there, Sharif.
Thanks for acknowledging it, Joseph. I appreciate it.
But as for the growth there, Sharif, I'm curious to how much of an impact the GLPs had on.
That's what I said.
On previous quarters. Right? Yeah, exactly. Previous headwinds. So hey, it is what it is. I think it still will obviously put it in a high tide if you still have the ability to grow quarter over quarter and year over year.
All right, we got the call from Assassino. It is time to end this show. The midday's over, baby, but we're going to send you Adara quickly. She's got news. Then the big boys. Then I'll see everybody at the green screen.
Go
Peace.
Ethereum.
Go.
Yeah, take a look at Apple here, guys. We know this one's on watch, set to announce another $100 billion U.S. investment into America. Ahead of that, we actually have comments coming from the chief negotiator for Japan, whose name is Akazawa.